it's important as like a Japanese voice actor to be able to, voice
Do
act
you have to
animals
audition
as
for animal roles?
I already had it in my voice reel. And so
Can you do some animal
Yeah,
voices
yeah.
right now?
I can do a cat as well.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Trash Taste. I am the host for today, Gant, and with me are, as usual, the boys. And as you can see, I am not alone on this side. I am reclaiming the host chair as we have a guest on. Would you like to introduce yourself to the crowd?
Yes. Hi everyone. My name is Shu Uchida and I'm a voice actor in Japan. Yeah, nice to meet you guys.
You're not just any voice actor though.
Yeah.
Joe's best mate from
Anime voice actor.
Anime voice actor.
Anime voice actor.
Because we're an anime podcast, as the viewership knows.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know the 5% of the time we talk about anime?
This is one of those 5%.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, yeah, I think this might be the official. Well, first of all, you're the official first guest on the new set.
Yeah.
We're not counting Chris. We're not counting Chris.
You.
Chris ain't a guest anymore. This is the first real guest episode of the new studio.
The first real guest. But also, I think people have pointed out in your accent, or figured out from your accent, that you're Australian.
Yes, I am Australian.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm
you're
like,
Australian too,
and
right?
I literally went to school with you, which is very weird.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's
So to explain, off screen, we just found out that these two went to the same kind of school together, and they know each other as like childhood friends or something like that. So
Yeah.
do you guys want to explain that? What happened with that?
Well, like the Japanese community in Australia, like the parents there send like their kids to like this thing called Saturday school. So we have school on Saturdays from around 10 to like 1 p.m.
Yeah.
And then, like we were in different classes because you were like in a higher grade than
Yeah, I think I'm 2 years older than you.
Yeah.
So, but I was in the same class as her older sister
Yeah.
for
Right.
about 7 years or something.
Yeah.
And because the school is so small, because the community is so
Yeah.
small, you naturally hang out with kids who are
Yeah.
younger than you and older than you.
Yeah.
So I would see Shuu in like the playground and stuff, and
It's like the meme where like every Asian knows each other, but it's actually true.
in Australia.
In Australia, every Japanese person knows each other. Yeah, so not only did I was in the same class as her sister, but we used to like hang out like not too often.
Yeah,
though,
not too
right?
often, but
But like we had so many mutual friends that I
Yeah.
think it's just like naturally we knew each other.
Okay.
Yeah, so and now she's an anime voice actor.
And now you both work in the anime industry.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's so
like,
bizarre.
I gotta ask, like in this like Japanese community, were there many people who wanted to work in the anime industry? Because you know how it is with like the weeb culture. It's like you see an anime fan and they're like, oh, I want to work in anime. You're like,
Yeah.
all right, weeb, all right.
Yeah,
But like, what was it like for like the Japanese community?
I don't know. I mean, I think at that point I wasn't even really thinking about that at
really?
all. I think
Too busy enjoying the weeb life.
I was too busy enjoying
getting
the
involved.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know, because I think even back then, like I knew I always wanted to like live and work in Japan.
Yeah.
But I think like the whole like anime industry side of things was just kind of like a dream.
Yeah.
You know?
Like,
Like,
so mystical. No one knows anything
well,
about
that's the
it.
thing,
Yeah,
right? It's
that's
like I
true.
wouldn't like back then. I was like, how do you even like begin to try and get into an industry like
Yeah.
that, right? So it's like, if I end up working in it, it's like cool, but like it wasn't like I was chasing the weeb dream. You know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
Right.
I'm definitely gonna like work for Kyoto Animation when I'm older. It's like work for Studio Trigger when I'm older. It's
Like,
like,
Yeah.
you're like, I was on that hustle since age 10. I was on the hustle to get in the anime industry.
I was on
Yeah.
that sucker grind. Well, it's like no, but I mean, I don't know. Did you know anybody? Like, what was it like for you? Like, did you always wanted to become an anime voice actress or whatever?
Well, for me, I was like opposite to you, and I was like, I really want to become a voice actor, and I'm going to become a voice actor.
you're on that
Japan.
grind.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And so, but I didn't know anyone around me who wanted to become like, someone who was in the anime industry. So, like for me, it was just me, like
Yeah.
wanting
Yeah.
to come to Japan to get into this industry.
Because I think the majority of like the people at our Saturday school weren't even really like thinking to be in Japan.
yeah.
I think
Right.
because like even to this day, like most of my Japanese friends from that Saturday school, most of them still live in Sydney,
same,
and are just
same.
like
Yeah.
normal English speaking everyday job kind of thing. So it's like, yeah, I think Shuu and I are the weird ones.
Yeah.
In that sense.
I mean, I already hear the word Saturday school and I'm like, you guys are crazy. My God. 5 days of school was enough for me. One more day in the weekend. Nah.
Okay.
Mother, I am not attending another school day, okay?
I fought like hell to get out of Sunday school.
Yeah.
It was my biggest battle of life.
I mean, to be fair, like I personally didn't even see it as like a school. For me, it was more just
Yeah.
like a hangout to like hang out with like all
They
my
tricked you,
Japanese
Joe.
friends.
They fucking tricked you.
Yeah.
They sold you on another day of school.
I mean, like again, like it's not like I didn't learn anything, right? Like obviously, especially when you get because the school we had, it started from kindergarten, so like what you're like 4 or 5 years
Yeah,
old,
I think so.
all the way up until 9th grade, where
You
you're
were
about
brainwashed.
I'm just hearing indoctrination here. Get them while they're young, build a habit, and they'll love it. They'll learn to love it.
They'll love it.
It's like what Stockholm syndrome.
I think obviously the viewers are probably wondering what are some shows that you voiced in, because that's probably going to be the first thing they want.
Oh
to know.
yeah,
Yeah.
Right,
So
yeah.
probably should mention that, and then we could chat.
and then we can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I voiced Mia Taylor from Love Live School Idol Festival All Stars. I also voiced Warspite, Ark Royal, Perth, Mikura, and Gambia Bay from Kankore. Kantai Collection Kankore.
That's a big collection right there.
I also voiced Fujiwara-san from Asobi Asobase. Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, and a lot more. I'm in like Doraemon and
You're in Doraemon?
yeah.
I
Sometimes.
think that's the true weeb dream, right? Where it's like you're in a show that has literally shaped
Yeah.
your childhood.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I'm also in like Shin-chan.
Oh, you're in
Yeah.
Shin-chan.
Like just a bit, yeah, sometimes.
That's so
Damn.
cool.
I
Okay.
would scream.
Like I mostly do like dogs and cats.
Hey, you're in. Run with it.
But I'm in like animes and games and stuff like that. So yeah.
Awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I feel like you're downplaying it. You should be like, I am in anime and
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Not like
That's not a thing most people can say. Also,
I don't think you realize the literal hundreds and thousands of people who watch our show who only dream to be in your position.
Really?
exactly.
Yeah.
You're an actual real anime voice actress. That's like most people dream to be that, and
Yeah.
you fucking managed to achieve it. So congratulations.
I'm an anime. No, I'm a voice actor.
I am an anime.
I am
I
anime.
am anime.
I just want to point out, because I know the viewer's going to point out as well, how comically large I look sitting next to you. Because I'm seeing myself on screen, and I'm like, if you thought you just tuned into the newest season of Attack on Titan, I assure you, this is trash taste.
It's
right
literally
now.
the meme of like 6 feet versus 5
Especially on that camera, I look so comically large with that perspective.
it's a wide angle. You know? People on the edges are good.
To be fair, I look in this camera. I look massive next to Chris. So
You are massive next to
I
me,
am
Joe.
massive.
Joey's
I'm
massive.
just built like
Yeah.
that.
That's what I have to do to go to Saturday school.
Yeah.
Build different.
Just come out of Saturday school like a Chad.
So you mentioned that you wanted to be a voice actor from a young age.
Yes.
When did that start then? Walk me through the process. I'm interested.
Well, like I started liking anime because my sister used to like anime, and then so I used to watch anime with her, and I wanted to become a voice actor when I was in primary school.
Oh, very young
yeah,
then.
that's
Yeah,
very young.
yeah.
I didn't even know that was like a job when I was in primary school.
really?
I think I was just like funny acting people. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought the characters just existed.
I was like, there are people.
like,
there
go-
are real people involved.
Goku's there somewhere in the world, right? Yeah. I'm sure he exists.
Yeah, like I was watching Bleach with my sister, and you know Hitsugaya
Yeah,
is
yeah.
voiced by Pakuromi-san,
Yeah.
who's like, she's like a woman, and she's like voice acting a boy.
Yeah.
And so I was really like fascinated by that, and I was like, oh, I really want to become a voice actor. And then from then on, I was kind of like, I told my parents that I wanted to become a voice actor in Japan, and you know, like typical Asian parents, they're like, like that isn't
You
like
want
really
to be an artist.
Yeah.
What is a voice actor? I've never heard of that job before. Do you need a degree to get it?
And what was interesting was that at Saturday school, I used to get like super low marks like in my test.
Right.
So
Okay.
my parents were like, well, like you're getting such low marks in Japanese, like how are you like, you know, gonna become a voice actor in Japan where it's like, you know, you need to be really good at speaking Japanese and
Right,
reading
right.
Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so yeah, my parents were like against me, but I was like, I want to become a voice actor in Japan. So yeah, in high school, I kind of started auditioning for like the schools, or the voice acting schools in Japan.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Like what age in high school?
I think like 16, 17.
Wow.
So like I would like work part-time and then I'll save money and then I'll book a flight to Japan
Oh my god.
Yeah.
To
Damn, at
audition.
16.
to audition. Yeah,
You were
yeah.
determined.
Yeah.
I was like working like 4 or 5 times a week, and then like on like, you know, during school holidays I'll be working like 6 times a week, or like, you know, just when
Holy fuck.
the
You were really
Right.
on that grind.
yeah, I
shit.
was like
Damn.
super like I want to become and then like a lot of the places told me that because I live overseas, it's kind of like, you know, like
Yeah, quite
Hard.
difficult.
yeah, it's kind of hard,
Yeah.
yeah. But then I finally like passed the audition, and they're like, you know, please come to the school,
Yeah. Right.
and then so I decided to go to Japan. But at that time I was still in uni.
Okay.
And you know, like my parents were like, "Well, isn't it better if you kind of like finish uni and then
Normal
go
parent
to
stuff.
school?"
Normal
Yeah,
parent
And so I was kind of like, "Yeah, maybe, but no." And so during the holidays, I like worked more, and then I saved up a lot of money. And you know, in Australia, it's like when you're 18, you can kind of decide everything
Yeah.
for yourself.
Yeah.
So like I kind of quit uni without telling my parents.
Oh, I think that's like the worst thing you can do, right? It's like number one no-no.
That's like one step away from a local.
Holy fuck! I've never actually heard an Asian kid do that. I'm just like, I felt that in my soul, man. Like thousands of my ancestors just screamed right there.
You are the 1% of Asians.
Is this what happens when an Asian unlocks like their final form? I feel like I
can quit.
I feel like I just witnessed Ultra Instinct IRL, man. That's
Jesus Christ.
And then so it doesn't stop there. Like I quit uni, and then I didn't tell my parents, and
Did you
then
know you were going to quit uni like for a while, or was it just kind of like, fuck it, I'm doing it?
well, before going to uni, I wasn't really actually gonna go to uni, but then my parents were like, "Can you go to uni for at least 1 year?" And then so I was like, okay, and then I went to uni for 1 year, and then wait, so what was the question you
Like, when you went into uni, were you like, yeah, I'm not going to stick with this? Or was it like, you just had enough and you were like, fuck it, I'm moving to Japan?
Yeah, I went to the classes there, and I was like, nah, like this is
hell nah.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah,
I had an idea, but I was like, but I guess I did sign up. Like, I'm not Zuckerberg. I don't have an idea. I can't just quit. Do what?
Yeah, and then so I booked the flights to Japan without telling my parents. And I think around a week before the flights, I told my parents that
See ya.
because my parents were so against me going to Japan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah,
of course.
so like a week before, I told my parents, and by then I had already like booked the packaging. What is it, like the people who come to take your package to send it to Japan?
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
the post
yeah.
people. And so yeah,
Also,
I
they
told
just
her-
like showed up and they were like, "What's all this? What's all this thing?"
So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
literally just sort out all the logistics.
yeah.
And then
Oh my God.
one day before like the package goes, you're like, Mum, I'm leaving.
BT
See ya.
Yeah,
By the way, Mum, going to Japan.
I have to, when you told them, did like boss music start playing? Like, what? You're like, what happened when you told them?
Well, I think my parents weren't expecting me to like act in that way, because
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
in school I was that girl that was like, you know, I would like study a lot, and then
Yeah.
Obedient.
I would,
Yeah, yeah.
and
But then
then-
she'd be like, psych.
yeah, and then so when I told her, she was kind of like, okay. Oh, yeah.
Just like top 10 anime betrayals in real life,
Yeah,
right?
right?
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, but then like, because 18 in Australia is like you're considered like an adult, but
Yeah.
18 in Japan you're still considered like
A
a
child.
child.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
20, right?
Yeah,
20,
20,
yeah,
20
yeah.
as an adult, yeah.
Yeah.
And then so I had booked the flights to Japan, but I hadn't like rented any like house or like anything. And I was like, oh, I could just stay in a hotel until I can like rent a house. But then after going to Japan, I realized that you couldn't book a house, like you couldn't rent a house when you're like 18. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't?
yeah,
No,
you can't.
you need parents' permission.
Yeah.
For it, yeah.
And because my parents were really against me, right? They wouldn't. They would
Right.
be like, not. Like,
Yeah.
And so I went through all my contacts and I contacted all my friends and I was like, is anyone in Japan, like, you know, living in Japan? Can I like live with you? Like, you know.
Yeah.
And then there was like one girl that went to the same school, Saturday school, and she.
This Saturday's all paying off dividends, man.
That's what the torture was all for. It's all worth it in the end.
I'm jealous.
And then, you know, she like, luckily, she actually had a bunk bed in her room, and the reason why she had a bunk bed
just
in her
randomly?
room, no, well, because like her parents would be coming over from Australia to Japan like once in a while, so
Right.
she was like, oh, I could just, you know, have like a bunk bed so they could sleep there when they come.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, she was like, well, I have a bunk bed, and you know, if you're fine with that, then we can live together. So we lived together for a while, and then I started going to the school there, and that's how it all kind of started.
That's a fucking badass story, man. Holy shit.
Plot or movie. Jesus Christ.
That's literally like the equivalent of like the OG American Dream kind of story where you just like, you pack your bags, you go to like LA or whatever, and you just figure it out, and that's kind of what you do.
It's literally like I'm on a quest to find myself. It's like that level where it's like parents won't hold me back. I got this. Yeah. That's so cool.
I assume obviously having native Japanese is a big plus. I've heard that in Japan they're really strict with like pronunciation, and then voice acting has to be like perfect.
Yeah. I still have problems with my accent. Like
really?
sometimes, like because like, you know, like even for kanji, there's like so many ways of reading like the same kanji, and then like for accents, it's like, you know, it also depends on the sentence.
Right.
The accent changes, you know, and so like I'm still like kind of learning my accent,
Right.
but yeah, I'm getting used to it.
I mean, I feel that like, especially, I feel like just voice acting agencies like anywhere in any country is like, you know, quite high standards. But I feel Japan especially has some pretty insane standards.
Well, because it's one of the most sought after jobs in Japan, right?
Right,
There's huge competition for it here.
There is
after YouTuber.
Of course there is.
all the kids in Japan are like number one YouTuber, number two voice actor.
Well, I've, you know, you've seen loads of videos about it of like people going into these schools, and it's like a military camp. And,
they're really
you feel so
strict.
bad because you're like, all these people, most of these people are going to have their dreams crushed.
Yeah,
'cause
like
they're not going to make it.
Yeah, like what is like the kind of daily routine for Jesus Christ, what is like the daily routine for like schools like that? Because like you only hear about voice acting schools in
Right.
Japan, but like, you know, obviously I don't think any of us have been to it or know
Right.
anything
Yeah.
about it.
I mean,
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
no,
Oh,
go
sorry.
on. No, go on.
It depends on the school. Like some schools, you have to go there like 5 times a week. Some school they only have it like once a week. And I went to one that was only like once a week, and the teachers there will be really strict. And in Japanese, you call it like taikukaike. It's really like they're really strict.
Yeah.
and,
Right.
like, yeah. So like we do like you know, accent and pronunciation, and we also do like what is it in English, like katsuzetsu?
Oh, like,
Like,
so that like,
like-
you know, to fix like lisps or
Yeah.
like
Oh,
stutters
okay,
and
okay.
stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
To like
And-
be able to pronounce like all syllables
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything. Yeah, I don't know what it's called in English.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
Pronunciation.
Pronunciation, I guess.
Enunciation.
Enunci-
Oh,
Enunciation.
enunciation.
That's it.
Enunciation.
Yeah, it's a very, very important part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
overlook.
But then because the teachers were like really strict, like by like 6 months into starting school, like half of the students would start not coming to school.
Right.
And
Right.
they'll just kind of like disappear.
Yeah.
Disappear. Right.
Are the
Kind of like uni then.
so is it like kind of a strict process for even getting into the school? Like you mentioned, you had to audition a bunch, and you had to.
Yeah. This also depends on the school. Like some
Right.
schools are really strict. Some schools they're not as strict. Because like, you know, you learn everything at school. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, I think they're looking for like people with like nice voices, or like, you know,
Right.
I don't know,
Okay.
looking for
People
the-
who have like potential.
They ever
Yeah,
like, they ever,
yeah,
like
yeah.
kick anyone out? They're like, you're terrible. Go home.
Like, well, the auditions, like,
Kind of like that, I guess.
yeah. Well, it's kind of like it comes through post, like whether you passed or not. So it's like, yeah.
Oh, but they don't want to tell you in person.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you go to the audition and they're like, okay, thank you, like, you know, and you go
Yeah.
home, and then like a week later.
That's
it
just such typical like passive aggressive Japanese.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are terrible. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how long would you typically study at the voice acting school for?
I went to the voice acting school for 2 years. Some people only go for like a year as well.
And you don't
so-
get any jobs in that time? It's purely just studying?
Well, for me, I got a job when I was at school,
Yeah.
and that was only because I was able to speak English.
So
it was
it's not,
like-
it's not common that you
It's
would
not
get.
really common, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess you have the advantage of being bilingual, right?
Yeah.
So you get like that. You get those English jobs as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just talking to Connor how like being bilingual in this country or in any Asian country, if you want a job in that country, it's just like so easy.
Yeah,
it's
it is,
it's like a
yeah.
cheat code almost.
I mean,
you
I
know?
mean that's one of the big reasons why I wanted to move here, right? Is
Yeah.
because like in Australia, no one really gives a shit if you can speak Japanese. Like, it's
That's true. That's
like
so
the
true.
only job you'd probably be able to get is like teaching
Yeah,
Japanese
yeah,
or like
yeah.
the Saturday
Oh,
school,
yeah,
for
yeah.
instance,
Yeah.
right? But it's
Yeah.
like even then, it's like a lot of Japanese teachers in Australia don't even really speak that good of
Yeah,
Japanese.
yeah.
Yeah.
In an alternative timeline, you were an interpreter for the president of a prime
Yeah.
minister.
That's probably the only like,
You're
job,
just
yeah.
talking to like the president, the prime minister of Japan, and you just Joe's behind him, like telling him in the ear.
Yeah. That's probably like the only like real high end job you could probably get. If
Yeah.
you know Japanese. But like here, for example, like every company in every field is looking for someone to speak English. Right?
Yeah.
So it's just natural progression to just come here.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What I want to know is like the things you learn in voice acting school. Do they specifically teach you how to sound like an anime character? Because like I've noticed, obviously, as it's common sense that anime characters sound very different from how people usually speak.
Right, yeah.
So what goes into like learning how to speak like that?
This also depends on like which kind of teacher you have, but some teachers are based like on like acting, so they're more like instead of like sounding like an anime character, like
Yeah.
they want you to focus on your acting skills. But some like teachers actually do like tell you like you need to be more like over the top.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
say this
Yeah.
line, because like anime characters, they're like
Yeah, yeah.
over the top.
Yeah.
So like yeah. So yeah.
Okay, so you've been in school for 2 years. How does it then transition into being like you're a professional now? Start working. Like, what is that? Is it like a set end date at the school, or is it like they're like you're ready now, kid? Go on, start acting. Start acting, kid.
For my school, there was like a set date that you finish school, and before you finish school, you'll have like auditions to get into the agency.
That's very Japanese.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I feel like in the West, they're just like, all right, you're done. Fuck off. Good luck. Make it work, kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, there'll be like staff there like looking at you, and
Yeah.
usually you'll be handed like a script like 15 minutes before you actually act in front of the
Oh Jesus.
Oh,
the
damn.
people.
Okay.
And so
What is the point of that? Because it's like that doesn't happen on a regular job,
No,
right? Like you don't
no.
show up to the studio not knowing what anime you're going to be
Right.
in and being like, "Here's the script. You're recording in 10 minutes."
It's really common, at least in English, that you wouldn't see the script until you're actually recording it, though.
Yeah, but in Japan,
Yeah,
it's,
it's not
like
in Japan,
way
yeah.
Right.
before.
I mean,
right?
like for like narration or like sometimes there's like times when they give it to you on that day.
Right.
But like in regards to like anime and games, it's more like you get like several days in
yeah,
advance.
because the pre-planning stage for anime and games here is
Yeah.
insanely long.
Yeah. I think because there's sometimes in English they're still changing the lines while you're getting
Oh,
Yeah,
while you're
yeah.
really?
commuting
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the
yeah.
Wow.
so they might change them, or like maybe they'll change it while you're doing the lines. I've
Yeah,
had that
yeah.
happen before.
Right,
The
right.
guy's like, I don't like this anymore. I want to change it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because when I did the stuff for Pop Team Epic, they
Yeah, you
gave
said
me
that.
the script like 4 weeks before I actually went in.
Yeah.
So I
No
was
NDA
like,
either, right?
huh?
No NDA either.
No NDA. they gave me. I talked about this on the podcast, but they literally gave me a CD of the episode.
Oh yeah, yeah. We
Yeah,
get
did they
that.
do that for you?
Yeah.
Like, is that just like a common thing?
Yeah, it's like a like anime recordings, right?
Yeah.
You get
That's
like
crazy.
a CD beforehand, and you check that at home, and then you see how long your like
And then you
line
kind of
is
like
and-
check out the timing of
Yeah.
like when to
And
start.
you don't have to like
Yeah.
sign anything saying I won't share this to anyone.
No.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, the trust system here, dude. Is
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
This video is sponsored by Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll just kicked off a new slate of anime for the summer season. Not only will the service host continuing classics like Boruto, My Hero Academia, and One Piece, but this season is stacked with the return of popular series like Miss
What?
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S,
Wow.
Tokyo Revengers, To Your Eternity, and that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
And don't forget, you can binge watch all the episodes of the incredible Odd Taxi right now. I've already talked about it many times, but if you're looking for another show, I highly recommend the second season of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Season 2 is popping off, and you need to watch it right now.
Way to plug your own video.
But guys, shut up. Did you know there's new titles airing this season?
No way.
You won't believe it. Some of the top picks include Peach Boy Riverside now
What?
airing, The Great Jahi Will Not Be Defeated.
I love that one.
And Fina Pirate Princess. And the new trailer just dropped.
You can watch all these titles for free or try a 14-day free trial of premium membership to skip all the ads and access simulcasting with Japan. Just follow the link in the description to start watching Crunchyroll now.
And the guest that we have on today voices in some of the titles that you can find on Crunchyroll.
Just follow the link in the description below to start watching on Crunchyroll. Back to the episode.
So how did you feel getting your first role? Or how was that feeling when you were just like, man, I'm actually like achieving my dream right now?
Well, we had an audition to get that role, and I knew that it was like an English-speaking character, and
Right.
like the audition was like you had to speak in English,
Right.
Like just anything in English,
Right.
And so yeah, there was like other people that were like auditioning as well, and I was like, I'm the one that's like that can talk English.
Excuse me, are you Eigo Jozu? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, so I was like, well, if I don't get this role, I'm gonna like maybe this is not like for me.
You're at like a clear advantage right there.
But then,
You just turned up and you're like, oh, I've got this. I've got this.
but then, yeah, like when I heard that I got the role, I was like super happy because obviously not many people who are still in school get a job.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and you know, a lot of people, even after they like graduate, they don't get jobs, right?
Yeah.
So, I
So
was
just like normal university. Then.
Yeah, yeah. And so like I was super happy because I because my first job was kankore, like contact collection kankore,
right.
and that was like a huge game as well. So yeah, I was just like my first job is kankore, like like oh my god, like really, like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, did your like parents find out about it too? Like, did you tell them or?
I told them, but they're not really like into anime and stuff, so they're like, oh really? That's nice.
My parents are like that.
They're like, enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
Wait, so how do your parents feel about what you do now then?
Well, now they're like more accepting and they're kind of like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, because they're
like-
starting to see like
Yeah.
results. Right?
Yeah.
When you get a stable income, parents are always like, all right, maybe this isn't too bad. This is gonna make some money.
Yeah, that's literally what it was like for my parents as well. Because they were like,
really?
when I was still doing it at home during uni, the whole YouTube thing, they were like, yeah, have fun with that while it lasts. It's like that's a good paying hobby
Yeah.
you got there. And then when my dad was like, you make more than I do per month, that's when he was finally like, I'll allow it. It's like, cool, thanks, Dad.
Like, do your parents know kind of what you do now? Do they understand at least what you do?
Yeah, like my sister,
Yeah.
she kind of shows like what I do to my parents.
Right.
So like yeah, they kind of now know what I
That's
do
good.
and stuff
That's
like
good.
that.
Did they do that thing where like, wait, this is you?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
My parents like, they don't believe it. They're like, no, wait,
Yeah.
you don't sound like that. You've never heard that voice before.
Yeah. Like I remember when I first like tried to explain my job to my parents. I was like, what are you? How would you make money off this? I don't understand this YouTube thing. And then like cut to like 3 years later, my dad like phones me up and being like, I was checking your social blade and your latest video seems to be underperforming there, guy. Like what's going on with that? Are you
My
what's
mum
going on?
does that
I'm just like,
It's a transition from not knowing anything and not caring to know anything to suddenly being like an analyst, right? It's like,
I'm like, you gained 100 less subscribers than on average for this day. What's going on? Are you paying enough
see,
attention?
That's like still cute though,
Yeah.
because like my parents are definitely not that.
Oh,
Like I think
really?
my parents are kind of they went from not knowing or caring to kind of being like caring, but still not really knowing. You know,
Right,
like
right.
I think when I asked my dad like what he thinks about what I do for a job, he was just
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't support it. I just let you do it.
I mean, for
I'm
like YouTubers, I guess it's really hard to explain to your parents like what kind of job it is.
True,
Yeah, right.
true. Yeah.
I guess for a voice actor, you can just say I'm an actor.
you can just show them a clip and be like, that me. I did that. That me. I did
Sometimes I
that.
wish I just reviewed food so I could explain it easy. To
Oh.
people. I could be like, yeah, I just eat. That's it. But I'm like, wow, I don't really know.
I literally have to. My grandma to this day still thinks I'm a comedian because that's the only way I can explain it to my grandma. It's like, yeah, your grandson is a comedian. That's just not on TV. And she's like, Oh wow, okay. Very good. Sweet.
I gotta ask, going back to like the Saturday school thing and the small community, I gotta ask, did all your parents know each other as well? Is that an Asian thing, or?
I mean, I think a lot of the parents did know each other,
Yeah.
but I think that was only really like if you kind of grew up with that kid
Yeah.
Right.
from a really, really young
Yeah,
age.
Right.
yeah.
Because like we had a lot of like childhood friends.
Right.
Yeah.
That I would grow up with that eventually, would like do the same sports activities or
yeah.
do the same, or go to the same Saturday school,
Yeah.
or just go to the same primary or
Yeah.
high school, or whatever. But like, I didn't really know her sister or her or Shuu all that much
Yeah,
to
I
the
think
point
so,
where our
yeah.
parents knew each other. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had mutual like parent friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it ever got to that level.
Yeah, because I just asked because I obviously didn't go to Sunday school, but this is how.
It's Saturday school.
Sorry,
First of all.
Saturday school. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't pray. Okay?
We don't pray.
It's the week. It's weekend school. I'm just gonna call it weekend
Ladies
school.
and
Okay.
gentlemen, the weekend.
Yeah. Let me tell you how socializing worked in like the Thai community when I was growing up. Since
Sure.
we didn't have weekend school.
Right.
Right.
So like every Thai parent would for some reason know each other within like a fucking 50-mile radius,
Yeah.
and they'd
Wow.
hang out and they were like, "Your kid, you're like." Within the same age, socialize and now make friends,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that was basically how I knew all the kids in like my area.
Yeah.
And is it the same in Japan as well, where you refer to each other as like kind of like brother or sister or like cousins?
I
or
feel
like
that's very much a Southeast Asian.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it was really confusing explaining this to Sydney because I would introduce Sydney to like a family friend.
Yeah.
But I would introduce them as a cousin.
Yeah.
And I would
yeah.
introduce my actual cousins as cousins. So
Right.
Southeast Asian like family trees are just a fucking mess because we call everyone brother, sister, or cousins.
Everyone's related.
Everyone's family. Okay.
Any of these discussions. This is not me.
Wait, so like when you like refer to your cousins, right?
Yeah.
Do you say like the cousin that's not in that's not
blood
like
related
yeah,
cousin.
No, there's no distinction. We just call them cousin. And
Oh,
then I have
really?
to, and then Sydney's just like, so whenever I introduce a new cousin, so she's just like, is this a cousin or just a cousin? I'm just like, it's a real cousin. But they're all real cousins.
That's like the white people equivalent of calling everyone your uncle or aunt. Right?
I
Like
guess
your
so,
friends,
yeah.
Right? They're like, oh, this
Yeah.
is your uncle. And I found out they weren't my uncle. And I was like, what? What? Why did you lie?
I mean, yeah, like my Australian side definitely had that where like
Yeah.
my dad's friends would be my uncles or like, but I don't think Japanese don't really do
No,
that.
I don't
do
think
they?
so. Yeah.
I feel because like in Japan especially, like the concept of family is very much like closed off in a lot of
Yeah,
sense
yeah.
where
Yeah.
it's like you really have to be like part of the family in order to be considered
Yeah.
a family member.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not like an Italian like, hey brother, like, type of thing, you know? It's like it's not anything like that,
Yeah.
right? Or like the whole cousin thing.
Yeah.
Because like
I just can't get over it. I mean, I think he just held up a sign that just said incest.
Man, what are you doing?
Why are you holding up a sign that says incest?
His cousin, how do you know it's your real cousin?
oh, is that where Gaunt's obsession for
For fuck's sake.
Anyway, no, but like, no.
I was taken off guard by that. Who just holds up a sign that says incest? What? Guys, it's the incest cue. What is that? What is
Mainly, we got a guest on today.
Jesus.
Sorry about this, Shuu.
The show is definitely
totally
a
fine.
great show.
You're tainting an innocent mind over here. No, but I don't think the Japanese side really had that. Like it
I
was
don't
like
think so,
it was
yeah.
like it's a childhood friend, and that's like the extent it
Yeah.
goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like, yeah, definitely, like, it's not like we couldn't make friends later on in life, but
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like a lot of the friends you did make, especially in Sydney with the Japanese community, a lot of it was very heavily rooted in like how long have you known this
Yeah.
person for, kind of thing.
Is that why there are so many childhood friend characters in anime?
Yeah.
I just got to ask that.
Yeah.
Pull through in real
Yeah.
life.
I was the one thinking about it.
I mean, like, like if you're friends since like when you're like 4 years of age, you're like
Yeah.
you stay friends for like forever.
yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I did get that about like Japanese culture. It's like I got the impression that there's like different levels of friendship within Japanese culture, and it's very hard to like penetrate like the deeper level unless you've known them for like a very
Yeah.
very long
Yeah.
time.
Why do I say
I
penetrate?
don't know. Okay.
It's such an odd choice of words.
That was such a hard P.
Yeah, you went in on that. Oh my gosh.
Penetrate.
No wonder they don't let you in.
I don't want anything penetrating. Thank you very much. No, but definitely like that whole trope of like the Osana Najimi or like the
Laughing, God, I just can't stop.
What is choice of words going on today? What's
no, but like really like that whole like Osana Najimi trope in
Yeah.
anime, I feel is very it's like rooted in reality in a lot of
Yeah,
ways
yeah.
because a lot of my Japanese friends to this day from Australia are guys and girls I've known since I was like less than 1 year old, right? Like or like
Less than 1 year old.
no, like dead
It's
off like
true.
are you
That's-
serious?
Yeah.
because like at least with my mom, how I got to know a lot of them was that because again like the Japanese community was so small.
Right.
Yeah.
The mums would go to like these like mum friend groups where
Yeah.
like mums of that had kids of similar ages
Right.
would come together, and so like naturally you know at like the
Yeah.
age of like 6 months to anywhere
Pops
like,
out the vagina. It's like, son, let me introduce you to your best friend. Goes to like the next.
Honestly, why are you saying all these descriptive
no,
words
legit,
today?
though, it pretty much is like that. Like,
Words.
Sorry.
You could have said pops out. You didn't have to. What's going on today?
Don't.
like dead ass, like pop out the vag before I see my own father. It's like he's your best friend. You know? It's like that. But like my oldest friend, my oldest childhood friend to this day, who's also half Japanese, half Australian, who
Right.
lives here now, I met before I could even walk. So like it's crazy to think that I'm 26 now and I've dead ass known him for 26 years of my life.
Yeah. You
So
can
it's
literally say, when you say I've known him my entire life, you've really
I've
fucking
literally
mean it.
known him my entire life. There is 6 months of my life that I didn't know him.
So you feel quite strongly then towards someone, even if you don't speak to them, even if just because you grew up with them?
I feel it's like one of those like concepts of like, it's the type of friends where you're like, I don't have to text you every day to know
Yeah.
that I'm your friend, right?
Yeah,
I guess to me it's more like, oh, cool, how you doing? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's one of those friends where you're like, you don't text for a year or something,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
can casually still be like, so we're going to dinner?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
one of
yeah.
those friends, right?
I think if my friend messaged me and was like, and I haven't spoken to them in like years, and they were like, hey, can I stay at your place for X amount of time? If it's like one day, I'm like, I guess. But if I haven't really spoken to them, I'm like, what if they're crazy? You know? What if they've gone through things, Like, what if they just don't leave? You know?
I feel that like you would know about that in some way, right? Especially because like for us,
Yeah.
the parents were also involved
Yeah,
in this
that's
friendship,
true,
right? So it's
yeah.
like I know my friends, like my childhood friends'
Yeah.
parents, just as well as I know the friend, right? Because it's kind of like I guess that's the only like whole auntie and uncle or like cousin aspect to it, where it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
your childhood parents, your childhood friends' parents
Yeah.
are kind of like your uncle or your
Yeah,
aunt in a lot
yeah.
of aspects.
Yeah.
Was that the same for you as well?
Now it's the same for me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like.
Can't relate.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. Now that I think about it and talk about it, it's a really weird concept.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
It's-
envious that you can have just friends for free.
Yeah.
For free.
It's almost,
No work put in. Just born. Just talk.
no
a bit.
payroll.
it's almost like an arranged friendship, like your parents both agree, yes, our children can be friends, right? So,
Honestly, it is pretty much like that.
The only thing I get from my childhood friends are just fucking Farmville invites on Facebook. They're just driving up the wall. I'm like, fuck off, stop.
Well, because like a lot of, and I feel as well like how strong of a bond you form with your childhood friend
Yeah,
depends
that's true.
on how close you are, or like the same types of activities that you did growing up, or like, did you also go to that fucking swimming school in Sydney,
I was about to, but
the one in Kalani? Yeah. So she knows.
What are you guys just going through your childhood?
I was about to, but my parents were like, "Oh, it's too far away," and so we didn't go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So because there was this one like swimming school
Yeah.
that like all the Asians
Yeah.
would go to.
Yeah.
And that's how, that's also how like I
Yeah.
kind of rekindled with a lot of like my childhood friends that I met when
Yeah.
I was a baby. Yeah. Because like, it was like, oh, the parent that I met during this like mum circle
Yeah.
also takes their kid to the swimming school. And I've been thinking to take my son or daughter to the swimming school. So I'll just go to the same one that I know all the parents at. So that's like, so again, like I feel like that community is so bonded tightly that
Yeah.
like it'd be like, oh, if that parent is doing this thing, I'll send my kids there as well.
Yeah.
You could say your family.
Vin Diesel meme.
Q Fast and Furious
Cue
meme.
Vin Diesel meme.
Not
Which
funny,
might be
not funny.
dead by the time this comes
By
out.
the time this comes out, it'll probably be like very outdated.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious. So you mentioned that you were very passionate about it from a young age, but obviously when you're not in school before that, there's only so many ways you can, I guess, practice or get experience. And what did you do before that to kind of get practice? Because I was just doing it from my bedroom, just online with like a shitty microphone.
Same.
Really?
I was like, yeah. So like I bought like a really bad shitty microphone.
Yeah, me too.
And then at home I'll be recording my own voice and like hearing it again and then recording it again. And because like now like voice acting, you have to be able to like sing well as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
you
Japan,
can.
yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Like you have to.
I'm fucked.
Yeah, like you have to like dance as well, right? So like.
Voice actresses, especially.
Dance?
Yeah.
Voice actors and actresses at this day and age are basically idols.
Wow, it's like
Yeah.
totally different in like the West.
Yeah. Like you have to like you're in magazines. Like you have to look good. Like like visually.
Well, I guess that's
and-
why. Like again, it's so the competition is so intense.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
That's
they're more, like you said, they're more idols, but they're always on TV, right? You
yeah,
don't really
yeah.
get that.
And so like in Australia they don't have much karaoke's.
No.
Like and so
There was one really like crappy karaoke,
Yeah,
but
I
it was
think
the
I know
closest
which
thing we
one,
got
yeah.
to like the Japanese
Yeah,
style
yeah.
because like
Okay.
karaoke in Australia is a lot like in America where it's like all open mic,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's not. Karaoke.
That's always been weird to me.
No, I
That's
like-
not
no, I-
karaoke.
no, I-
That's
I
public
love that.
embarrassment.
I love that. I love that. It's
I
great.
hate it.
Yeah,
I
I don't
hate
like
it.
too
I
much,
hate
It's my
yeah.
night when someone just god awful starts because I'm like, that guy's great. That guy went up there knowing he'd butcher this song, but he didn't.
No, but
anyway.
like, what if the opposite happens, right? What if like the person before you sings like fucking amazingly, and then you're like,
yeah.
oh shit, I have to go up and do sexy back now.
Yeah.
right?
That's fine. Let me go. Let me go. I'll do it.
Like, if I'm gonna embarrass myself, at least I can just embarrass myself in front of my friends.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
That's the way I think about it. Yeah. That's why like the concept of going to karaoke sober is just non-existent in Western countries,
Yeah.
right? Because you're not gonna go out up and sing on stage in front of strangers if you're not intoxicated, unless you're just an amazing singer.
Yeah.
Right.
They do that here too.
Yeah.
But, so what? So you had to learn how to sing as well, or you already sang?
Well, I practiced singing from my bedroom.
Yeah.
And that was
as,
really
as everyone
As
does.
you do.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that was really embarrassing because my parents were against me doing voice acting, right? So
Stop singing.
they'll be kind of like, oh yeah, you can go sing in your room, but obviously because it's not like soundproof or anything,
Yeah.
it's like I'm like
Yeah.
my really bad singing is like like resonating throughout the whole like house. So like
so you're practicing dancing as well when you were like teenager?
no, like I didn't really practice dancing
Yeah.
because I was more into like singing and acting.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
Not much of a dancer myself either.
it's
you're
really
white.
hard.
That is true.
Yeah. So with the voice acting school, did they teach you any of these other aspects of being a voice actress, or was it just purely the voice part?
The school that I went to was like just purely voice acting.
Right.
But I know like some schools teach you singing and dancing as well. Like,
Right,
especially
right.
like you know how like I said that there was like schools where you have to go like 5 times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, those.
Is that 5 times a week, like 8 hours a day, or like?
I'm not really sure, but
I assume not. Like you
Yeah.
have to live somehow.
I think when I watched a video about it, it was something like they just go in the evening after their job. Like a lot of people do that in Japan. I
yeah.
think that's normal.
That sounds about right.
yeah, there's like a lot of different like it always depends on the
Yeah,
school,
true,
like
true.
But yeah, so some schools teach you that.
So what type of voice acting were you doing in your bedroom when you were like 15, 16?
Well, I was kind of like copying characters.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like
I feel
like-
it always starts with like impersonation.
yeah.
Fan dubs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, who did you impersonate?
I impersonated a lot. Let me just think.
Who did you impersonate? Other than the obvious ones.
League of Legend characters.
Yeah.
Do you know how I know that? Because that's what he sent in for my audition reel.
There you go.
A League of Legends
It's that
Legends
good.
characters
It was
audition
that
reel.
good. And I got the job. I did that. No, I don't know. I just copied everything. And I would do weird stuff for people who wanted, because someone has
Yeah.
to voice act in these terrible stuff online.
Yeah.
Like Sims projects and stuff. People just make Sims animations
Oh,
with
Sims.
Sims, and I would have to do the voice, and I hated it. But I was like, well, I want to voice act, but I don't like the project. But
$50 is $50, right?
Yeah.
No, are you get paid? Are you kidding me?
No,
No,
I
no one got paid. I was using a headset microphone. It sounded like it's terrible, but you love doing it, so you just keep
Yeah,
doing
of course,
it
of course.
Yeah.
until you can buy a good microphone, and
Yeah.
even then you're like, Google, how do I remove static, loud static? How to remove?
Yeah.
Did you have to do that? Yeah.
The Audacity noise cancelling function.
Yeah.
That's-
It's terrible. It doesn't work at all.
Yeah, because like back when I was like newly into the anime community, like there was a big like online voice acting community when I was first got into the anime community. Was that still a thing when you were trying to be a voice actress?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
So yeah, does
Yeah.
Japan not have like an online scene for voice acting where they just voice act in stuff online?
I think I think some people do like voice act online, and some people actually like voice act on Nico Nico.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but I didn't really participate in that because I was kind of like, well, when I was in Australia, my Japanese wasn't as fluent.
Right.
Like it was
Yeah,
really
yeah,
like
right.
it sounded like an Australian was talking. In Japanese. Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. And so I was like, ooh, like, you know, I don't have much confidence. So
Right.
I kind of practiced more from home.
Okay.
Yeah. I was copying Hanekawa from Bakemonogatari.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
and like, you know, all this kind of characters.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
practicing animals too. Like,
So you tried to get the animal roles as well.
I mean,
I
on
just
the,
imagine practicing animals, you're just shouting at a dog. Like,
yeah, like, because on the internet, they're like, you know, it's important as like a Japanese voice actor to be able to, you know, voice
Do
act
Do you have to
animals as
audition
well.
for animal roles?
For me, it was kind of like, I already had it in my voice reel. And so,
no, you're the go-to.
and so, yeah, they picked me from there. But
Wait, like what kind of animals? Like just dogs, cats?
like dogs, cats, yeah.
I
and
guess that's the
birds,
majority, right?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm so curious. What was your process in like practicing for that?
I'll just like endlessly watch animals on YouTube, and then I'll kind of like copy the animal. Yeah, and that was.
There's
what
people
I
who have
did.
demo reels for like monster creature demo reels.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Just
yeah,
like
yeah.
monster noises
Yeah.
and like weird sounds that human bodies shouldn't make.
I guess
But they
someone's
can.
gonna voice them, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, there's quite a big demand for that. Like, there's always shit that needs growling.
Can you do some animal
Yeah, yeah,
voices
yeah.
right now?
Right.
Like,
A dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very loud.
Oh, sorry.
I shouldn't expect it. It was great.
It was great,
I
it was
just like,
great.
Oh my god.
I can do a cat as well.
Okay, do it. That's a cat.
that's pretty fucking.
That's
good.
really good. That's really good.
Well,
Yeah.
if we said it was shit. Nah, it doesn't sound like a cat. Why the hell?
We'll just send you a passive aggressive letter later. Just being like, it wasn't very good.
You'll receive a letter in your post.
I wonder if there's like any viewers watching right now who has a cat in the background who just like
Yeah, right.
who's throwing hands? Who's throwing hands?
The dog is just losing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
This video is sponsored by Manscaped.
The sun's out, bums are out, and hopefully your pubes are not out. Also, flip-flop season is upon us, and you're out here with those post-pandemic toenails? Don't worry. Our friends at Manscaped have you covered. They just launched their 4th generation performance package and their Shears TM 2.0 nail grooming kit. Join the Manscaped movement by going to manscaped.com/trashtaste for 20% off plus free shipping.
I was this close, gentlemen, to making my balls no more, but that could have been avoided if I had Manscaped that one time when I was younger. But thank God I can buy it now.
The Performance Package 4.0 includes the new Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer will change the way you approach your grooming routine.
Texas, don't worry. If that power goes out again, you can still use the Lawnmower 4.0 because it's powered by batteries and has its own LED.
One of the most important aspects is that this trimmer is waterproof, so you can trim in the shower with ease. I'm going to say that again.
pause was so dramatic. So get 20% off plus free shipping by going to manscaped.com/trashtaste. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com/trashtaste. Tame the summer swamp in your pants with Manscaped TM.
Back to the episode.
Your balls will thank you.
So I'm assuming it's going to be different, but what is the process like in voice acting in Japan for auditioning?
For auditions, well, the auditions come to your agency, and then the agency will pick someone that's suitable for the role, and they'll be
Yeah.
like, there's like 2 stages. There's like tape audition, and there's a studio audition. And tape audition is where you just send your voice into the people who make the anime, and stage audition is when you actually go in front of all the directors and like the people who make the anime. If that
Okay.
makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
So how many people will be there normally?
Depends on like the anime, but I don't know. Like sometimes there's like only like 20, like 5, 10, 20.
Only 20?
yeah.
What?
Sometimes there's like more. There's like yeah.
Wait,
And-
this is the staff, right? that we're talking about?
Yeah.
20 staff members.
Oh no. Oh, you mean staff
sorry,
members?
yes,
Oh,
yes,
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
say. I was like,
staff members. It depends, but
it's like the
sometimes it's
Foley
like.
artist is standing there. She's got a good voice.
It's not going to match the rest.
But sometimes like there's like usually there's around 5 people, but sometimes there could be like 10 or like maybe even more.
Wow.
Like,
Like
geez.
judging and like.
Judging, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And then there's about 20 to 30 auditioning.
Yeah.
Is that for one character or?
Yeah,
for-
sometimes for one character. Like sometimes the anime like people they'll take like a whole day auditioning like several characters, and like this was like pre-COVID. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, there'll be like there'll always be like people waiting in the waiting room, and then
Oh god, you're all like, oh yeah, you go for the part.
yeah, and
Before you walk in, just
and it's like because they're holding the scripts right, and they're kind of like practicing it in their mind.
Is there like big tension in the room?
yeah, there is.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like super quiet.
oh, that's so nerve wracking.
Yeah, and you see someone holding the same script as you are, and you're like,
Yeah.
You know, because like, there's like people in movies like I'm gonna like people who turn up really cocky. Is
Right.
there anyone ever like that who's like I've got this, go home?
no, because like even like the really like famous voice
Yeah.
actors, they audition to get like the same like the roles
Right,
as
right,
well.
So you might turn up and there might be like a AAA like
Yeah.
oh my god,
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
but the good thing about this job is that it's not always
Guaranteed.
them that
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the
Yeah,
job, right?
right,
It's
right.
like the person who suits the voice, like the character
Right.
best. So yeah, it is really nerve-wracking though when they're like in front of you and they're like practicing their script, and you're like,
Oh, wait, so you've been in a situation where you were in like auditioning
Yeah.
for the same roles of massive like
yeah.
voice
Oh.
and it's like,
scary.
and it's like it's so nerve-wracking just to like act in front of like all the staff members making the anime, and then there's like this huge like someone you've known like since like ages ago, and
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
someone
Probably a fan of.
yeah,
right?
yeah, like who've like you've had like posters of them up on your room or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like really nerve-wracking, and
Wow,
yeah.
that's like so different from how they do it in like the English anime
Oh, really?
when they're dubbed, they have to be dubbed like pretty fast,
Right.
So they can't like they never hold open auditions. It's been a very
Wow. Mm-hmm.
very long time. I think they'll be like, hey, we know that you're good at what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Try
Yeah.
for this character, and you just record an audio clip and send it in, and that's it.
Ah.
Like, there's no like another one. Sometimes there is, but it really depends on the thing.
Wow.
But it's really fast. And that's why there's normally like less actors, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
compared to Japan, because it's normally you have to be kind of established to get a chance. It's kind of
Right.
difficult.
Yeah.
Wow.
How many auditions do you have to go through, or like for different series
Mm-hmm.
before you normally land like a single role?
Well, in the industry, they say like auditions, like it's like it's like normal to like not pass an audition.
Yeah.
So like they say like if you like take 50 auditions, if you get into one, then that's like you're still on the good side. Like
Jesus.
you're still on the
I
lucky
heard,
side.
like 40 to 1. Is a
Yeah,
good ratio.
yeah.
Wow.
I suppose
So,
if you're like competing against 20 other
Yeah.
voice actresses.
Yeah.
That's,
or-
some people
Yeah.
just spend all day from their home just on like voices.com sending in like fucking hundreds all
Right.
day. But it drives
Right.
me insane.
And yeah, it's really like because like when you get the audition, you want to know more about the character, and
yeah.
you want to know more about the manga, or like whatever it's based on. So
Yeah.
like you read all these manga, and like you take your time like understanding the character and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's like when you don't pass, it's like, oh, I didn't like pass.
Yes,
But, like,
sometimes I try not to get too invested.
Yeah.
Because I feel that if I've read the manga and I feel like I know this character, I can do it. Why didn't I get it? And then you got to go to the next one. It's like, it must be
Yeah.
quite difficult. To,
yeah.
How do you kind of keep that detachment level there?
Well, at first I was like, I felt really like down when I didn't
Yeah.
pass an
Of
audition.
course, yeah. Of
course.
Yeah, but then now it's kind of like you need to take you just keep like dropping
It's
not
like understandable
passing.
having a
Yeah.
You just gotta you grow thick skin, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah.
And just
I think
like
so.
it's nothing personal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Nothing personal, kid.
So you mentioned obviously that's not the normal process right now because of COVID. How
Yeah.
is it different now because of COVID?
They used to, how I said that they used to call in people for
Right,
studio
right.
Yeah.
auditions. Now it's more like, you have the tape auditions and you get chosen from there, or they choose someone. They don't have auditions at all, and it's kind of like they already choose someone to.
Oh, it's like we
Voice.
want you to voice this character.
Yeah,
Will
yeah.
you take it, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
right.
do you have to send in the tape still?
It depends on the.
Oh, so they're just
The-
scouting now then.
Yeah, sometimes they just scout you. Sometimes you have auditions, and when they do have studio auditions, it's more like you're brought in one by one.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know.
So there's no there's no standoff
Yeah, there's
anymore.
no this thing. yeah.
I feel that's better for like mental health of voice
Yeah,
actors.
yeah.
right? Just
Probably.
being like,
Probably.
But that normally doesn't give a lot of chance for, I guess, new talent to
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
get seen because I mean, that's how they get seen, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if you have to be established or scouted, it's quite difficult to
Right.
get seen.
yeah, like how does that work for like the English side of things? Because like it sounds fucking impossible for like new talents to get noticed.
Yeah.
I mean, normally you have to be recommended. Like someone will be like, you know,
It's just who you know, kind of thing.
I mean, it's sad, but yeah, kind of. I mean, you know, there is ways, but normally it is through recommendations, and someone will be like, "Hey, I need this kind of voice. Does anyone
Right.
know someone who can do this?" So like,
Right.
I got recommended to stuff just because they were like, "We need British," because obviously since COVID, a lot of anime dubs now, the ones that are airing like weeks after,
Right.
are done all online. in
Oh,
people's
wow,
homes.
really?
Yeah. There's quite a few
Wow.
actually have been done just from home studios.
So they just record at home?
At home.
Wow,
yeah.
wow.
But you have to have like a good internet connection, and you have to have a sound treated room,
Right.
which I think when COVID hit, a lot of the bigger and more established voice actors, just you can order those, like they have them in Japan as well, the home office booths.
Oh,
one of
yeah,
those
like the
things.
small,
Like the
like,
sound
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's like a tiny. It's horrible to because you get so hot and you can't have the AC on. Obviously.
Yeah,
so you're in this
yeah.
tiny room and you're like sweating on a call, and sometimes if you're screaming, it's like terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of it now, especially now, it's quite bad for like discoverability. Yeah, you kind of have to recommendations.
Yeah.
But you can audition from stuff still. But again, to get the auditions, you have to be recommended.
Yeah, it's about who you know, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's tough.
so in Japan, to even be considered for an audition, do you have to have formal training, or they won't allow you?
No, not necessarily. It's like most of the time you have to be in an agency.
Yeah.
So like just like to get into the agency, they like, you know, obviously they look at people who have like good acting skills, right? So
Yeah.
people in an agency would like have like the, you know, the basic acting skills.
Yeah,
and
normally.
From
I mean,
yeah.
the agent won't sign you, right? Unless they think I guess we can get you work.
yeah. And then so yeah, like the manager picks like who they wanna
Manage.
let yeah.
Like,
So-
because the manager picks like who they want to put forward for the auditions.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
They'll
yeah.
be like, hey, we need these voices. Oh, okay, I think these guys are good. Take them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, what's the daily life of like a Japanese voice actress? And like, do you do more roles than auditions, or like, how's the balance go?
It's like you do auditions too, but like once you start getting the hang of your job, it's kind of like you have like recordings for like you know, games and other stuff that you did from like a while ago, so
Yeah.
just like
Okay.
continuous recordings and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's like you do
So-
auditions, but at the same time you have like continuous
Yeah.
recordings.
So once you establish yourself, it's a lot easier because
Yeah.
you got a lot more stuff going on then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
How is it like, because I've done the whole, it's called afureko in
Yeah.
Japanese, but like the recording session. I guess there's like one massive difference between the West and Japan is that in the West, it's, you know, one at a time. In a
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas in Japan, it's all together, all at once, right?
Yeah,
And
it's like
you've
yeah.
probably done it next to some pretty notable people.
Yeah, it's
Like,
pretty
how's that?
crazy. Like, well, it's really nerve wracking because, like, like now they record it a little bit differently, but before they used to have like 30 people, or 20 to 30 people in like a room in a studio, and you'll be kind of recording the anime at the same time.
God.
And so there'll usually be like 4 microphones, and you know, all the actors will be like using that microphone like between each other.
Yeah.
And so obviously, if like someone who's bigger than you, like your senpai, is using like a mic, you can't like barge in and like, you know, use that mic. So, you know,
Might.
yeah.
Let me show
Yeah.
you the old time.
Yeah. So like, you know, you have to like look out for your senpais as well,
Yeah.
and you have to like act properly as well,
Yeah.
and you know,
That sounds so stressful. Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah.
I just want to work, you know? I don't
yeah.
But
act,
it's, but it's
you
so
know?
cool when like a bunch of like super established voice actors are doing it, because like I think this is like really famous YouTube video of like all the main voice actors for One Piece
Yeah.
doing a
yeah.
scene where
That's cool.
all of the Straw Hat crew is like talking in a scene,
Yeah.
and they're just so fluidly like switching between microphones when
Yeah.
like roles come up
Yeah.
and stuff. Because like what I did as well is that like just because you're not on the microphone, it doesn't mean you're not acting because
yeah.
a lot of the times people who aren't on the microphone are used for like crowd noises
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like just passers by and stuff like that. And it's like, so you're constantly just like being
Yeah,
recorded.
it's good to have
Yeah.
that energy, right, as well, when
Yeah.
you're trying to act, to have
Yeah.
like someone kind of providing the feel of the scene to you,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's why Konosuba especially worked really well, because you hear like you hear the original like Japanese dub of it, and it kind of like you can tell that the actresses and actors are just bouncing off each other really
Yeah.
naturally,
Right.
and it's like hard to tell. It's actually some points where it's hard to tell if it's actually scripted or just like completely improvised sometimes.
Yeah.
They used to do a lot more for English productions, but, you know, scheduling is a nightmare.
Yeah,
And trying
exactly.
to-
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And for stuff like, you know, like a Disney movie, if you have like all these AAA actors, it's
Yeah.
like impossible to get them all at the same room at the same time. But some movies and some shows still do it.
Yeah.
But it used to be a lot more common, but now it's not that
Right.
much.
Yeah,
I
because I've
guess
seen like footage
Rip
of
COVID.
like Toy Story and stuff like that. Like all the
Yeah.
actors for Toy Story were all in the same room, like
Wow.
kind of in a semicircle, and they all just had like a mic and like a stand for their script and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
They would just all do it all at once.
It's normally the more expensive the production, the more you can do
That
that.
makes
Right,
sense.
yeah,
right,
If you have
right.
more money, you can tell, hey, come in. Oh, you know, for movies, they'll always do a table read, right? The actors will come in, they'll just practice it together, even if they're not recording together.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
The scary thing is because, like, you know, once the anime recording starts, it's like you have to like stay silent, even when it's not like your turn to speak. So
Yeah.
like, even when you're reading the script and you know it's not your turn, and you want to like turn the page over, you have to be really careful not to make any sound. And like,
Stealth.
and like when you walk up to the microphone, you
Yeah.
can't make any sound. So like, you know, even with your clothing, it has to be something that doesn't make sound.
Yeah,
So like,
that's
you know,
fair.
yeah,
That's
you can't be
fair.
wearing like leather jackets and like, you know, like that.
Could
So,
you imagine just like,
yeah.
They used to have like a box just full of like really old T-shirts at
Really?
one of the studios I worked at, and they were just like, if you wore anything that wasn't a T-shirt, they were like, put the T-shirt on.
Wow.
that doesn't sound sanitary.
Well, it was, you know,
Just
they'd
wearing
wa-
someone's sweaty T-shirt, right?
They washed them, but it was just like they were like, don't bring anything that isn't a T-shirt because it makes too much noise.
yeah.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah.
And like, don't have keys in your pocket or anything like that. Like, just empty your pockets because
Yeah.
I hate to be that guy who just like came on and was like, shit, I need to sneeze right now.
And I feel that like the pressure is even greater because it's like if you fuck up a line, for instance,
Yeah.
then all the actors are there to kind of
yeah.
like, you
So,
know,
so what happens if someone flubs their line when
Well,
that happens?
Because we're recording like, you know, like I think we record like each 15 minutes of an anime, if that makes sense. So like if you like mess up your line, you just stay silent and just back away. And then
Have you ever done that?
yeah. And so like it's like
I could see like the PTSD in her face as she was like telling the story. I was like, oh, she's experienced this.
and it's like if you mess up, you can't say like oops or anything like that. You just have to like stay silent so the person after you can say their lines. And so like once
so they can just like cut your
cut it,
part,
yeah,
right?
and then
Oh,
they
okay,
can
that makes sense.
take it again after the whole 15 minutes is like recorded, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
and it's really hard because when you first start voice acting, right, the director tells you like, you know, we want that line said more like this way or like, you know, in a different way to what you did. And if you're not like able to like, you know, say it like how the director wants you to say it, you
Right.
like take it again and again, but you're taking it again and again right in front of all your senpais. So like you're taking their time, and you know the director's like, we want it more like this way, and you're like, okay, I'll try my best. And so yeah, it's really
That's so
like,
nerve wracking. Like
Yeah.
that's like that's like pressure on top of pressure,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like you're
yeah.
already pressured to be like, I'm gonna nail my line just so I can put on a good performance.
It's
Yeah.
like the teacher going, all right, what's the answer? Or you specifically. What is the answer to this math question? You don't know it? Come on, you can do it. Come on, come on.
We'll all wait to try and figure it out, right? Yeah.
Have you ever had like the director explain how they want you to do the line differently, and you're like, "What? That does not make any sense."
when I was first like in an anime, one of the directors told me, like in Japanese, they said, もうちょっとチャンバラみたいに. And yeah, and I was like, because I was
What does that mean? for the
Chambara
viewers?
is
like-
like soft like sword fighting.
yeah.
Okay.
With like yeah, so basically like play sword
Yeah,
fighting.
yeah.
So it's like
Okay.
sound more
Okay.
play sword fighting
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It's so specific.
Yeah, and I was like, and at that time, I was like, I didn't know the word chambara. And so,
Got you, cheater.
yeah, but then it would be so awkward to ask the director, what does chambara mean, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll try my best. And so I asked the person next to me, who was around the same age as me, what's chambara? And yeah, she told me, and I was
And
like,
it still didn't make any sense.
yeah. And,
What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. And so,
So
yeah.
what does that mean? Like, how did you
Find out what he wanted?
I'm not sure.
To this day, I've wondered what the take should have been.
But I got an okay, so I guess I was able to,
Was that an okay or was that like okay?
oh.
Right? It could be either one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a when you're doing lines, sometimes there's that feeling of like you're not getting it, and then you know personally you're not gonna get it, and then they're just like, oh, we'll just move on, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah, I get that feeling, yeah.
Have you ever like said like a line and that you've just been like that was an awful take and the director's been like, all right, we're moving on now.
Yeah.
That was a good take.
Yeah, I've had that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. And
That's why you should say like fuck at the end of my line if I hated it, but then they would tell you to stop saying fuck because you're ruining the line that they liked. So you'd be like,
Yeah.
da 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 fuck, because then you couldn't use it.
Are you the type of voice actor that watches the anime that they were in after it like finishes and airs and everything to like
Yeah.
look back on to
Yeah.
kind of learn from?
Yep.
Because I cannot do that.
Really?
Like I hate hearing myself in voice acting roles
Ah.
because I get kind of secondhand embarrassment from it, being
Right,
like, because
yeah.
I'm so harsh on myself all the time. So
Mm.
when I hear myself on like a game or an anime, I'm always like,
Yeah.
I could have done that line like 10 times better. Why did I have to use that line?
I know how you feel. It's like
That's good though, right? Like
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know that you could improve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good, but it's also like when people tell me, being like, "Oh, I heard you in the game," then
it's
I'd be like, "I don't know how I sound in that."
Yeah.
So it's like I can't even like talk about the role that I
Right,
was
right,
in
right.
Yeah.
because I just don't know how it turned out, right? But there's
yeah.
a lot of like big anime voice actors that are like that as well.
Yeah, it's like I mean, like hearing your own voice after it's like, cause like you record it and it's aired like several months after you record it. So obviously, like several months after, you're kind of like you've like brushed up on your acting a little bit more than what you had before. So like hearing it again, it's like, oh, like I didn't say that line properly, and like I'm really strict on myself as well. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like I look like, but then like I think it's really important to like kind of look back.
Reflect.
Yeah.
I think the thing that everyone always says the most when they try and start voice acting is like they hate their own voice and they can't stand it. And it's just
Yeah.
something you have to like. I mean, personally, I just think that if you learn to like be able to listen to your voice and not just recoil in disgust,
Right.
you can then start breaking it down and being like, okay, I didn't do this that well, right? Like, you can start really focusing on what
But
you're
isn't it
doing well.
weird that I'm okay with hearing my own voice in YouTube videos?
It's just different.
Oh,
man.
Just
really?
because
Yeah.
you've heard it so many times.
Because when you're
now.
acting, you're trying to do something like you're trying to perform, right?
Yeah.
When
Right.
you're doing YouTube, it's just you.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, I'm being me. I'm being an idiot.
true.
Yeah.
Let's do
That's
it.
true,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, like, I feel though in a lot of my roles, like, because I'm not trained or anything like that, right? I just do it because I like it.
Yeah.
And I'm given the opportunity. But like the Pop Team Epic one, for instance,
Yeah.
I played a New York mayor,
Really?
and I cannot do a New York accent.
yeah.
So dead ass, if you watch like the actual episode that aired, it's like the most Aussie sounding fucking New York mayor. Being
It
like,
is, it
I'm
is.
the mayor of New York.
I just love the idea that you did the take and the director was like, "It's perfect."
Yeah.
and you're like, "No, please, please,
Yeah,
please."
Yeah.
I did it. I did the first take, just thinking like, we're gonna kind of get like a gauge of like
Right.
how not good my
Right.
New York
Yeah.
accent is, and I actually gave up halfway. I tried to do like an American accent, but at that point, especially, I was like, my New York accent or my American accent is not that good. Where like I can confidently act.
Yeah.
In that accent, like I
yeah.
can try and speak it casually, right? But acting in another accent is a
Yeah,
completely different
it's
set of skills.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna like subtly turn it off, like just turn the gauge down as the recording goes on. So by the end of it, I was just like, yeah, New York, just like the most Australian sounding New York.
Yeah, I remember seeing that and I was just like, I feel like he's about to drop the C-bomb. As an Aussie, when's it coming? When's it coming?
No, but it was so funny because like I thought for sure, I would get some pointers being
Right.
like, all right, you started off good, but you kind of depleted near the end. Let's do another take, or like
Yeah.
let's try that line again or something like that. Fully expecting it. The director was like, all right, you're good.
Yeah, but the director didn't speak English, right?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
well then.
So he thought I was like perfect New Yorker
Right.
accent. It's like, yeah, that's what all people from New York sound
I
like.
can't blame him then. Really. He doesn't know. There's no way he'd know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But then in Japan, it's like, you know, when you go to recordings, it's like, when you talk in English, it's like they expect you to speak in an American accent. But, you know, because
Right,
I'm from
right.
Australia too,
Right.
so it's like, yeah, I try.
You never practice your American accent when you were practicing?
Well, yeah, like I'm practicing now, but it's
Okay.
still really hard to like, I don't know, like pronounce all these
American
words.
English goes everything against Australian.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I mean,
It's like
I can't do American
We have to like
accents either, so-
contort our faces in
Yeah,
ways that we
yeah.
don't. Like just the
Yeah.
just the r
Yeah,
sound
like the-
is so like
Ca-
to us.
card,
Yeah, card.
and
Well, it's like the British and Australian English, like the tongue is like towards the front of the mouth.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
American English, it's like flatter and in the back. And that's like really hard to do when you're British because you're like, why do I have to force my tongue down?
You just sound
Yeah.
like you're kind of drowning half the time.
Yeah, yeah. I you know, mine sounds shit. Like,
Yeah.
I barely can.
I mean, I'm much better at it now since then because
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
practiced.
yeah.
But I mean, I still couldn't confidently do like an American English role.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't know, just from like watching anime recently, where like we are starting to get more like English speaking roles done
Right.
by actual like native people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel like I've noticed like I think finally anime directors and producers are like
oh,
different accents in English exist.
In Japanese dubs or
In
English?
Japanese dubs.
All right.
Yeah.
But even in the English dubs as well, because like a lot of the English dubs are also overseen by like the original directors and
Yeah.
producers. So
Yeah.
it's like I feel like they're finally starting to realize like, oh, we can't just get anyone who can speak moderately good
Yeah.
English. Like if we need an American role, we need to get an American speaking
yeah,
person.
Yeah.
I did an American voice for a film, the one that like Charlie Critical is in.
Oh yeah.
I was like the killer, but I wasn't credited.
You weren't credited?
You weren't credited?
Oh, really?
I forgot to. I think they forgot. I had to. Seriously.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I'm like the voice of the like killer.
Yeah,
in it,
yeah, yeah.
And it's like this like really raspy, deep, like scary voice,
Like
for-
American accent.
Yeah, and then they were like, we want you to do. And I remember that we were having I was having the call with the people who were making this film, and they were telling me all about this role. And then this is going on for like half an hour, and they mentioned, yeah, he's American. And then at the end of it, I was like, so like the accent. I don't know if you noticed, I'm not American. I was like, so what do you want me to do? And they're like, well, he is American, so could you do American? And I'm like, I can, but it won't be good.
right.
Yeah.
So I did it.
I feel though your American accent is probably better than most, right? Because I feel I don't know
When I do deep voices, it's easier because the mouth shape is easier, but it's still shit. It's still shit.
but I feel like
you
in-
would laugh at me.
But I feel like a lot of like British actors, for instance, are usually pretty good at nailing the American accent.
Right.
Yeah, there are so many British or just like, you know, actors not from America that you don't know aren't from America until it's like
Yeah.
outed. But then you swap to the other way around with Americans doing like British accents
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Aussie
yeah.
accents.
Right.
And it's like,
Because like how many people think, you know, like if they watch like Batman, for instance, right? Like Christian Bale and Gary Oldman are
Yeah.
both not American.
yeah, Christian
right?
Bale's Welsh.
Yeah, Christian
Right.
Bale's Welsh.
Right?
So yeah, I'm pretty sure he's
And
born
Gary
in Wales,
Oldman is
aren't
very British.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like it's just incredible to think that like a lot of people just don't know that
I
like,
mean, like
these
Chris Hemsworth as well. Is
Yeah,
like
Chris
Aussie.
Hemsworth is an
Like
Australian,
the most
right?
fucking
Yeah.
Aussie guy
But
I've ever
But he
seen.
nails the American accent.
Yeah,
perfectly,
yeah.
Right? So it's like
I think yeah, because they train British actors different to American. It's
Yeah.
like different ways of learning
Right.
acting. So I think
Yeah.
that has a lot to do with it. Because like British are more focused on like stage acting, and
Right,
getting in, like,
yeah.
learning that
like
aspect
theater
of it.
training.
Yeah,
being
yeah.
more like
Yeah.
classically trained. And, yeah, so it's a bit different. I don't know.
Yeah, and I also feel like if you're going to acting, you kind of need to learn how to do an American accent. That's because that's where most films are
guess
made,
so,
right?
yeah.
You know,
That makes
but it's
sense.
not the same the other way around. So you know,
True,
I hate doing American accents for stuff. You always have to do it for things. It
Yeah.
sucks. I hate it. Just let me use my British accent.
Yeah, right. Just give me like an Australian character. It's like the
I've never
Yeah.
seen an Australian character before.
No, me neither. Like the one time where I was like, "Oh, I might have a chance," is like, what was it? The free, like, what was it? The movie?
Oh,
or like
yeah.
season 2?
Yeah.
It was based in Sydney.
Yeah, it was.
And so I was like, I was waiting for that phone call, being like,
Joey, the
"Finally,
other
is it my time to
My
shine?
time to
My
shine."
time to shine." The Australian accent never happened.
they spoke English in it, right? And it was like terrible.
Yeah, but they hired non-Australian actors and like actresses. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
I'm right
there.
here.
Yeah,
I'm right here.
literally right here.
Well, it's like
Me and Shuu are right here.
Two people right here.
what is it? Also
Just hit up that fucking Saturday school.
Yeah, exactly.
Go through the contact list.
What do you think of the bad English in anime as it's normally referred to?
Well, I know people who've been asked to like talk
Yeah.
in English when they're not like, that.
Is the director
English.
just like, you should just do it?
Yeah, they're kind of like, they're like, try your best, but and obviously the actors are trying their best. but it's like,
I just feel like it's an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, oh, I guess they had to, but
Yeah. Like a lot of my friends like ask me how to pronounce stuff because they're like,
Right, naturally.
I don't know how they pronounce this sentence and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's really hard for them to like pronounce something that they're not used to pronouncing.
do they ever worry about how it's perceived by like foreign fans?
Yeah, they do. They're like, I tried my best, but it's like I don't think it sounds like native, and then,
Yeah.
Feel bad laughing at the Kuroko no Basket. Have you seen that?
No.
It's not
This
like
is,
for-
what, the lunchtime rush one?
the Kuroko no Basket when
Yeah,
they
yeah.
go to America and they
Yeah, they go to America.
They
I
go-
completely forgot.
and everyone's American, but everyone's Japanese. Like,
Yeah.
it's a trip.
Well, I mean, it's like the English in like Devilman Crybaby as well, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. And I had to do Afureko next to that guy.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was
Oh.
Murase Ayumu.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean,
It's not a no one wins.
well, yeah, no one wins. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like his English was probably the most decent out of like all the other actors. But like, I had the exact same thing. Like during break, like all the actors were coming up to me being like, "How do you pronounce this?" or like, "How do I make this sound as fluent and like
Yeah.
naturally
Yeah.
speaking as possible?" And I'm just like, "Dude, you're asking the wrong person. This is set in New York. I'm not even doing the accent correctly. Like, why are you asking me? Like, I'm struggling to say the letter R."
You've been like, I'm walking here.
Yeah, I'm walking
Just just say that. That's what everyone says. That's the meme. That's the meme.
Just give them a copy of like every month Scorsese film.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus.
Have you ever been recognized in Japan for your voice work? Like someone spot on the street is like, oh my god, I know you.
Oh, I haven't had that before, but I've had someone ask me like at a cafe,
Yeah.
like when I was checking out. I've had someone ask me if I was a voice actor, and
Or just randomly?
yeah, just randomly.
But they could just feel the voice acting aura from you.
Maybe, I don't know, like yeah. And so like it was like a young male guy,
Right.
and he was like, yeah, like, do you by any chance do voice acting? And I'm like,
Is that like a pickup line in Japan? Bro, that voice got me acting up. Damn, are you a voice actor?
I'm about to simp at your voice.
My queen, are you a voice actor?
Like, wait, do you happen to be a voice actor?
Says one word, my queen. I will simp for you.
Did you go to the checkout and say like it in a voice acting way, or did you start
right?
barking, or you can't like?
oh, maybe did I?
Yeah.
Maybe I did.
Did like the anime reaction lines, like
You can have a point card. Hontoni.
so like for like everyone watching who maybe aspires to be a voice actor
Right.
or actress.
Yeah.
Like what do you think it takes to be one professionally in Japan?
I think it's like obviously you need like your acting skills, but I think it's more like being able to communicate with the people around
Right.
you and like because if you have a manager, then you have to be in good relationships with your manager because they're the ones picking who to push forward for the audition and stuff like
Yeah.
that, right? And you'll have to be like doing good with the voice actors around you and your senpais and. Yeah, I think
It's all
that's
just social
really
politics,
important.
isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how it always is, though. Like the entertainment industry is always who you know and who you're
Yeah.
friends with,
Yeah.
right? It's a bit
Yeah.
fortunate. I mean,
I feel-
even
I feel-
YouTubing is like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're friends with, you know.
Yeah,
It's-
I feel that's just like, but I feel especially like that on top of how already socially, politically, like,
Yeah.
charged, I guess Japan is just in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You have, tatemae and like all that kind of stuff on top
so
of like
hard.
an entertainment industry.
Yeah, like I'm always like,
God.
because like, even with like towards your senpai, right? You want to be like, if you want to become good friends with like that person, like, like it's just so hard to decide how like polite you have to be towards them.
Right.
And-
Because you don't want to seem like a kiss ass.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because it's like, it's that fine
Just rolling
line.
a dice. every time you meet someone.
Yeah, it is. It's like,
Have
you
like
know,
oh, sorry, go
No,
for
I
it.
was about to say it's like it's that real fine line between you know, showing that you respect your senpai.
Yeah.
But also not kissing their butt.
Yeah. And obviously because like, you know, in Japanese, if you're too polite, it's like, you know.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Chill out, bro.
Yeah. So that's really hard. Like, yeah.
Was that something you just had to learn on the job, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. It was really hard.
Because I guess like moving from Australia to here, like the social dynamics is just so different from from moving to Australia and like a more like, I'd say like Western kind of mentality to Japan, which is like very, very, you know, very, very different, very, very, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is.
It's like, you know, if Japan is kind of like a pyramid scheme, Australia is just
You
like...
do you mean just a pyramid? You just did why does the scheme need to be involved?
if the social... Okay, let me rephrase that.
It's the social multi-level marketing that we're selling here.
It's the, if Japan socially is like a pyramid.
Hierarchy, that's
like a hierarchy,
Yeah.
essentially, right?
that's the word we were looking for.
Pyramid. If it's a pyramid, then Australia is just everyone's kind of on the flat surface.
Yeah.
Where it's like you refer to your boss by your name. Whereas like if you did that in Japan, instantly fired.
Yeah.
You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Or would it be a power move? Just like, damn, this guy's good. Get him a role.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I'd love to think that like even like the top seiyus, can they just be like, "What's up?" to the director? Like,
like some people are like
they're
you
like the
know,
legends. They're like, "Yo, what's up?"
Yeah.
I feel though that takes like
Yeah.
Ages.
right.
Yeah.
Because there seems to be so much. I mean, like voice actors here, like the very, very like famous ones, are
Right.
seen as like almost like gods.
Oh, they're like the
Right.
top
Yeah.
celebrities, right?
Yeah.
Right. I wonder
Yeah.
if that, like, you know, in the work environment, it kind of means they could just rock up and be like, "Yo, I own this place. This is mine."
I'm sure some of them, you know, like with that much, you know, like fame and
Yeah.
power, like I'm sure some people
Yeah.
get cocky a little bit.
Because
Right?
one thing I noticed, I was looking on Twitter, right, and the voice actor for Jono has like 1.2 million followers on Twitter, and I'm like, holy shit. That's all, like, and he's Japanese.
Yeah.
So like the market is only really Japan and I guess people who like JoJo, but like that is a lot of followers.
Yeah.
Like 1 million in Japan is the equivalent of like 10 million.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And that, like
Yeah.
that just blew my mind. I was like, how many?
Yeah. Like all of the, I feel like most of the top voice actors in
Yeah.
Japan have like that
A
kind of
lot.
level.
Yeah.
Does you know, being popular on social media or being popular on TV, does that help you get a lot of roles in Japan? Is that like a factor?
Yes, it helps.
A lot.
Like, yeah, because, you know, like if you have more followers and like you can, you know, what is it like? Not really advertise more, but it's like, you know, people know you, so it's like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
So they're more inclined to like watch the anime.
Yeah.
So is there like a lot of voice actors in Japan that like, hey guys, getting into TikTok now? Is that a thing at all?
yeah, there are some voice actors who do TikTok,
Yeah.
and like, you know, a lot more voice actors now are doing like YouTube as well.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's kind of the same in English. Like a lot of the voice, because you kind of have to have a social media presence now, unfortunately.
yeah.
Like the voice actor who did Gintoki. Like he's huge on Twitter. Like
Yeah.
he's like
Yeah,
he
he
memes
is.
the fuck out of himself on Twitter all the time. He's like a lot of people, like especially in the West, just know him for that.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
great. Everyone loves it when someone memes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One thing I'm sure that the audience is slightly curious about, and you know, people who watch anime, they want to be a voice actor in Japan. That's the thing, right? Have you ever seen someone who wasn't native in Japanese, like make it as a voice actor? Is that like a thing? Because I've heard often people who have tried, but I haven't heard anyone who's managed to do it who like wasn't native or born in Japan. Because I've heard that again, they are so strict on all the pronunciation and the way that you talk that you do have to be native.
Oh, I personally haven't seen anyone who
Right.
was-
Rip weebs sound like dude.
I feel just like bilingual voice actors is just not a market that has been filled yet.
Yeah.
Like, I can't
Yeah.
really think of like a notable voice actor in Japan or in the West that can do a role like that is not in their native
think
language.
It's really hard because, you know, like for like voice acting, especially in Japan, like you have to be able to act like and speak in Japanese really fluently, but you also have to have that like Japanese, you know, bowing and keigo
Right,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, you know, social skills as well. So I think because when I first came to Japan, I was really like shocked by all the stuff that you have to do. And so I think, there's so many stuff you need to do other than, you know, being able to act
Speak
in
Jap,
Japanese.
yeah.
And now you have to like dance and sing and
Rip
yeah,
weebs.
there's all these other stuff that you need to do. So it's like, yeah.
I mean, and you've already said that you started off like very young pursuing the stream as well. So you're like really determined from a young age. So yeah, I guess it takes a lot of work, doesn't it?
Rise and grind.
And like there is like it's a pretty harsh world, so it's like, you know, you have to get used to people saying harsh stuff to you, if that makes sense. Like, you know.
Oh, don't worry, we've been there.
Yeah, we've talked about
As
this a lot.
YouTubers,
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, and obviously because, you know, there's people on the internet as well, but there's, you know, the people around you, like, you know, saying like this, you need to work on this, you need to work on that, and this part of like your acting or this part of you need to fix and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Right, it's good though, being open to criticism, right? Obviously, if
Yeah.
there's someone who's higher up and they know what they're talking about, it's, I mean,
that's
it's
true.
invaluable, right? To get someone to be
yeah.
like, you're shit, but you can get better.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how.
Yeah.
Pyramid scheme.
Trade deal.
But I know, like, because when you go to school,
Yeah.
the voice acting school in Japan, it's like the teachers there, like some teachers are really, really strict. So like I know some students who used to go there, but because the teachers were like too strict,
Right.
they I don't think they were able to take it mentally.
Yeah.
And they kind of like, you know, started not coming to school and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's definitely not
That's
a job
normal
for
though, right?
everyone.
Trial
Yeah,
by
yeah.
fire. It's trial by
Yeah,
fire, right?
Yeah.
I mean, such a competitive industry, it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
Especially in the entertainment industry as well. I'm sure there's a lot of stories that we will never hear
no
like
fucks
today.
given, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you suck, you suck. You know, that's all it is.
I am curious, as a professional voice actress who's like been in the field, what do you think of the VTubing scene that's just like popped up in the last year and a bit?
Oh, well, I think it's pretty cool because, you know, I haven't really like done VTubing before.
Yeah.
But, you know, because you use your voice and you're kind of like,
Playing a character.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just playing an anime character,
Yeah.
but just like they never break character or like try to stay in character for as much as possible,
yeah.
right?
So it's like you're acting as like a character on YouTube, but it's not the real you. So you have to
Yeah.
kind of like, you know, I think it's really cool because you have to think so much about the character and like how that character would act if something happens, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
I
that
think-
something you've ever like thought about getting into at all or trying out?
Not really, but I think it'll be fine if I was able to try doing
Yeah.
VTubing.
Because I
Yeah.
feel like VTubing is such a weird line between like acting as a character, but
Yeah.
also like a lot of VTubers also put themselves into the role
Yeah.
as well and kind of break character,
Yeah.
quote unquote. So I feel
mean-
it's just like another set of skills.
Why build a character when you already are one, right? Like, just use your personality.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, exactly.
Spoken like a true personality.
What can I say?
You know what? You'd be a great animal VTuber. Just like
I can just
don't be a cat girl. Just be a cat.
Yeah, just a cat.
just like
And
make
just
animal
meow.
noises.
There is a VTuber actually that is just straight up a dog.
Really?
Yeah, like it's just like a Shiba Inu. And,
Oh.
but they
Like
speak
that.
in like a human.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like
I
the
could
gorilla
just
as
be a
well.
cat.
right?
Yeah, just
Oh
be
yeah,
a
yeah. Yeah, just be a cat. Just
You know, you don't need to act an anime girl. You've already done that before.
yeah.
Someone gives you $10, just meow.
Yeah.
Meow louder.
No, because like I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know, like do you see a lot of people in your field doing VTubing, or is it something that has just been so new that no one's really known how to like deal with it yet?
Oh, it's pretty new, so I don't really know anyone around me who's like done VTubing before.
Right.
But like, yeah, because it's becoming really like huge, right?
Yeah.
There's like so many like VTubers on YouTube. I think, you know, there will be like a day when
when
Yeah.
professional voice actors
Yeah.
are doing
Coming
VTubing.
soon.
I feel though it's like maybe it might just be like a completely different like
Yeah.
category, right?
Maybe.
It's like I feel a lot of like the professional voice actors who have like made it in the industry
Yeah.
probably think like, oh, I don't really need to go down that route because I got, you know, I'm getting roles and
Right.
this
Yeah.
thing, right? Whereas like VTubers are like kind of a lot of them I feel are aspiring voice actors who just want to build up a CV.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, of like I can do voices, I can voice act, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I feel like going from VTubing to professional voice acting might be a viable option, but
Yeah.
I feel the other way around might not really happen. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Maybe, I don't know. But like I know like you know, like acting for games and anime is really different to acting for like VTubing. So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
You're not on script, are you? Have you ever been starstruck when you're on the job?
What do you mean by starstruck?
I know, just
As in, like, you did an article with like a voice actor or actress that you just loved
Yeah.
even
Yeah,
since
yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Like, who's the most like whoa person you've ever met?
Otsuka Akio-san.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Wait,
Yeah.
I need a little context too.
Otsuka Akio is like, yeah, Snake. He did Solid Snake.
Oh,
the
wow.
Japanese
oh,
voice.
okay,
Yeah.
wow.
Like he's the guy that he has that really distinct like talking
Yeah,
style where he's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I can't do an impression.
Please, try.
Oh my god, he's kind of like the. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it's like. yeah. Actually,
Yeah,
Navi
like
does a really good like
Yeah.
Otsuka Akio.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like the Solid Snake.
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
But, like he's
Well, I mean,
but
I heard-
he's probably like the top 5.
Yeah,
like
like-
he's like a fucking legend.
Yeah.
That's so
Does
cool.
he meme a lot on Twitter?
I follow him on Twitter, so I don't know.
I feel like he does, right? No? I know. Oh, I know the English voice does.
David Hayter. I know David Hayter.
I could love them speak.
I feel that I feel the biggest like memers are usually the ones that are kind of like the legends. But I feel like even within the legends, a lot of them take their stuff like very very seriously. Like the
Yeah.
voice for like Luffy, for example, is like
Yeah.
you never see her like memeing or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The voice for Gintoki is like fucking whatever.
Yeah.
He's just like playing his character, right?
He's literally Gintoki in real life. It's fucking awesome.
So how did you stay composed when you walk in the room with that?
Well,
It's like, just doing a
love you.
it was so like nerve-wracking because I don't know, because I've seen him in like magazines and like I've read his books and like it was just
Did you play it cool?
I tried. I tried, but I don't know if I was able to. Yeah. But there was like all these other like voice actors as well who were like really big, right?
Yeah.
So it's just I don't know. For me, it was really hard to like act
In front of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're like super super good, and
Yeah.
you're like, like you just came into the industry and you're like,
The bottom of the rank.
no real place.
yeah.
Hierarchy.
No, pyramid scheme.
Pyramid scheme.
scheme.
Sorry, pyramid scheme.
Have you guys ever been starstruck by like anyone?
I think we've talked about this. Probably for me, it was like Hiroyuki Samana. I think I've already told the story
Oh,
about
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten that with like a YouTuber? Like someone in the same field as you?
I don't think so. Not
No,
yet.
I don't think so.
No.
I know.
Like,
I feel like after you do it for a while, you're just kind of like, fuck, we're so
Yeah.
boring. We're all so boring. I sit inside of it.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't like that with Felix the first time.
Yeah.
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 Of course. I mean, like for me, the YouTubers, I view YouTubers as just like people I want to hang out with.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
because like we all do the same thing at the end of the day.
Right.
I feel like once you get past a certain like level, you kind of get how
certain rank.
a certain rank in the hierarchy. You can like all YouTubers kind of like get each other, because we all
That's
got to go through like the same shit.
Are you a
Yeah.
big consumer of YouTube content?
Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube
Really?
Yes,
In
yeah.
English?
in English and Japanese.
Well, you have a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I think I did watch one
Oh,
actually.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I watched like your introduction video on
Oh,
the YouTube
really?
channel.
Oh,
And I'm
you-
like, wow, this chick is very Aussie.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, she's so Aussie.
Did you do a video where you did a test to see how Aussie you were?
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay, I watched that one.
With
yeah.
the slang.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really fond of like Australian slang. I don't know
It's
if you know,
terrible.
but-
What's Arvo? It's nonsense.
What do you mean? That's not slang.
That's
Or like, do you want a cuppa? Or like,
we say that.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
we
a
say
cup.
that
Oh,
in
you
the UK.
guys
Cup is
do?
cut. Wait, don't.
Yeah.
What are you on about? Cup is good.
Cup is good. It doesn't end with O, so that's how
Yeah.
we know it. I don't know why Aussies end everything with O. How like
Because it's just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
like I've never used bottle-o.
You never use bottle?
I've never used bottle-o before.
because like
that's a liquor store.
you're
for
just
non-Australians.
adding you're just adding a syllable to a word that doesn't need a syllable added to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
but like bottle-o, I feel is like, who the fuck came up with that? It's a word. Let me end a word that ends in a in a vowel with another vowel.
So
for
wait,
non-native speakers, bottle is the slang for bottle, right?
No,
No.
it's
What?
it's the slang for the
store,
liquor
the
store.
liquor store. You just thought it was a bottle this whole time.
I thought it was just a bottle this whole time. Joey says that. I'm just like, what the fuck are you
How long
talking
have
about,
you known
Joe?
Joey for?
Not long enough, apparently.
Yeah, if you say like I'm just popping
Okay,
over to the bottle.
apparently for even native speakers, we get fucking confused as well.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna pop over to the bottler. It means like I'm gonna go buy some alcohol at the liquor store.
Liquor store.
Oh my God. Sorry, Americans. We've hurt you too much.
Yeah,
on this
sorry.
podcast.
Maybe we've been too harsh on you.
So, what are some of your favorite YouTube channels? What do you want?
I watch a YouTube channel called Jolly.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that earlier, right?
Yeah.
What else?
And I watch a lot of animal videos on YouTube.
Like what? Give us a taste. Give us a taste. Well, I want to get a better feel of your character on your YouTube channel.
I watch my favorite dog is called a Samoyed. It's like a huge white dog.
Okay.
And,
Wait, what's the YouTube channel? What's it about?
the channel's called Milky Bulky Tan, and it's like a YouTube channel that has a Samoyed dog and 2 cats,
Okay.
Right.
and it's just them living their life.
You just watch that? You
It's a
just watch
slice. It's an animal slice of life.
yeah.
that? I mean, that sounds nice. This is where you practice, or what?
Or maybe.
Yeah, is this research for roles?
Sure it is. Sure it is. And it's funny because for like animal YouTube videos, like the owners are called butlers.
What? They are.
They're called butlers because they take care of the
I didn't know
pets,
that.
right?
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like
Animal YouTube terminology.
yeah.
How do they ask you to like and subscribe and smash the like button?
They go
Dude.
on the screen.
subtitles.
Yeah, it just comes out of subtitles.
So you mainly watch animal videos?
Yeah, I mainly watch animal videos.
Damn.
There is one animal channel actually that I watch quite often.
Oh,
It's
really?
this like Korean channel, I think, that it's this guy who has like a pet. I think it's a guinea pig. But he makes miniature models for the
Oh,
guinea
I've seen
pig.
this one.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
good.
really?
So like he uses like arts and crafts and like cardboard and stuff like that. And he made like an onsen for his guinea pig and like
Wow.
a sound booth for his guinea pig. And just like puts the guinea pig in and just like sees what the guinea pig does.
Wow.
Cute as hell.
Actually, no, I did get into like there's ant YouTubers. Have you seen
Oh,
this?
those fucking
They're
slap.
badass.
Okay, those are good.
They're basically, it starts off with like, all right, well, he's just got a tank full of ants. And then like the next video will be like, I have made a giant castle network of ants. And his whole like living room will be like tunnels of ants. It's crazy.
Was that the guy who fed the baby cockroach?
Yeah.
And like the
Oh.
cockroach gives birth as it's getting eaten alive by ants, and it's got like 100 million views or something. And I'm just like,
I can't watch insects.
yeah, right.
I just think of like, what happens if one of these breaks?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's what I'm constantly thinking.
The house, it must be like quarantined off, like burn it down. Like it's just,
It's literally a kill it with fire kind of situation, right? You just gotta
It's
fucking
also,
burn the
how do
house
you bring
down.
like a girl into that house, right?
oh yeah,
Oh,
my bedroom's just past the ants line. Just move it out of the way. Just.
It's like, so what do you do for a job? It's like, let me show you.
There's YouTubers that like I know there's one that like reviews like rat traps. That's a whole channel.
What?
I actually kind of like.
Why am I
it.
saying one? Of course there's a channel for
It's
that.
like a whole channel where the dude just reviews rat traps. That's it. And he like shows them.
What makes a good rat trap?
Well, you should watch the YouTube channel. That's the question I had. Just find stuff.
Now you got me
Like, how many
curious.
types of rat traps could there possibly
I think
be?
he has like over like 500 videos on like different rat traps.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Sean was.
Of course, fucking Malin knows
Malin.
it.
So it's like, yeah, my favorite.
This guy will make some insane trap, and in the end, the one that works best is always just like a ramp that goes into a bucket. That's just like the one that always works best. Anyways, I'm getting off topic, but there is a weird category for anything you want on YouTube. Someone's
if
done
it
it.
exists, there's a YouTube channel for
But you make your own YouTube videos, right?
Yes, I do.
Do you do it often? Wait, what's the channel called first so people can check it out?
It's called ShuTube for anyone who wants to.
It'll be on
search
screen
it up.
right now.
Yep.
Yay.
it. Go subscribe.
Yes, please.
Alright,
Oh,
so
wherever it is.
Down in the description.
What type
There
of
we go.
content do you normally do?
I usually talk in English, and I just make stuff about English and Japanese food, like cultural differences
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Culture
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, culture stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
like bring like the Australian side a lot, or
I
just
think
kind of
I
every
do.
now and then?
I think I think I do.
What
Yeah.
made you want to start it? That's the most
Good
stumped.
answer.
That's the most stumped you've been all day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
I think I just saw the life flash like in between her eyes right there.
So the reason you're like,
Why did I? I heard that question reverb.
why did you start? Stop. I don't know, just because you wanted to. Huh?
Yeah,
because you wanted to,
I
right?
just wanted to because
All the cool kids are starting.
I'm interrogating. I'm like, huh? You think you're ready, kid? Huh?
Oh, you're a voice actress? No, well, let's see you become a YouTuber then. Okay.
Oh, man. Yeah, so if people want to go check out the YouTube channel, it's in the description. So go check it out.
yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you should make a video being like the truth about trash taste.
Just like expose.
Easy million views,
Yeah.
right? Easy million views.
Trash taste exposed.
My experience on trash taste.
I can't believe there were such nice guys.
Yeah.
There was all these words.
God kept saying penetrating really weirdly. There was incest.
There
for
was a
some
woman
reason.
who like put up the incest like thing. Oh yeah, can you
imagine
show
be
it?
me, and you see just
That's what made
this.
me held up.
You just see this off screen, and you're just like, what am I supposed to do with this, Malin? What am I
Oh.
supposed to
It's
do
not
with
just
this?
incest. There's 3 fucking exclamation points. Like incest. Like it's a fucking QuickTime event.
Well, I heard someone was doing like a sponsor or something, and it was a live event. And apparently, someone was holding up like cards, telling them to do reactions. And apparently, the words they wrote on the card were just like nonsensical, and they just didn't know what they meant. I can just imagine being confused. You're like trying to promote a bike, and they're like dry, and you're like, what did you say with that? Dry. The bike dries. It dries very fast.
Yeah. When you were describing your experience about how when you like flub up a line, you just got to like stay silent and just walk back.
Right.
I really hope that you don't see when we need to record like a sponsorship segment, because us trying to like read a script is just like a fucking bomb going off. It's an absolute mess.
It's like for some reason I don't know what it is, but the moment we get past the script, it's like you must learn English from scratch once again. You are not native in this language,
True.
especially Gaunt.
Yeah, Gaunt.
Yeah,
Gaunt.
I'm the worst.
Really?
Our sponsors take twice as long as they should because Gaunt is just like having a mental breakdown halfway through. So I can't do it. I
It's
can't
like
speak English.
Like the Windows shut down, like dun, 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 it just happens. It's like Gaunt, come back.
So I'm just having a guess, but I'm guessing that you like anime, right?
Yes.
It was just like a feeling.
Controversial.
Yeah.
Just like I just got that vibe. I don't know where I got it from. So what kind of anime do you like?
I watch a lot of anime. I like
Really, name every anime. Oh, you're an anime fan?
I like Creamy Mommy.
Wow.
That's not the first show that I would have expected coming from your mouth.
I really like Creamy Mommy.
When I first heard
So
that,
what's Creamy Mommy?
It's like there's a girl called Mommy,
Right.
and it's
Who's
just
creamy?
yeah, she's really.
She hella creamy, dog.
It's a very unfortunate name in English. I think.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking,
it's
right?
very unfortunate.
It's
Creamy
like a
Mommy.
magical girl anime.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that
yes,
one,
yeah,
that
yeah.
one. Okay.
I think it was aired in like the 1980s or something. Like
Yeah,
that.
And that's your
That's-
favorite?
Yeah. Wow. Recent animes I watch Boku no Hero Academia.
Yeah,
Of course.
Haikyuu, Maoru Pink Drum, Psychopath.
Yeah.
Oh, like the list. Violet Evergarden.
Oh,
I
damn.
love how you. It's so Japanese.
Yeah.
No, it's perfect.
Oh God, mate, innit?
The weebs watching this are just frothing in the mouth.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Japanese.
I feel like I'm listening to like one of those PVs that you see, right? Violet airing this spring.
Psychopath.
So carry on. Sorry.
I watch Shingeki no Kyojin,
Hell yeah.
Attack on
course.
Titan.
Hell yeah.
What else watch? I watch so much. 約束のネバーランド.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Did you
love.
watch season 2?
Not yet.
Okay. we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
Let us know how you feel about it.
I know, I can already tell that you watch quite a fair bit.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that not only was your first choice Creamy Mummy, but
Yeah.
also the fact that you brought up Maoru Penguin
Oh,
Drum.
Yeah.
I love
Like-
it.
And Psychopaths as
And
well.
Psycho-
Yeah, I
Psychopath
love
is like-
Psychopath.
Yeah, I just kept nodding with that penguin one. I'm like, yep.
Maoru
Yeah.
What is that? Like,
Maoru Penguin Drum is like, oh god, how do you
It's like-
explain that?
It's really hard to explain.
It's such a weird show.
Yeah.
You've definitely seen clips of it though.
probably.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of animals.
Yeah, it's got a lot
which
of.
makes a lot of sense.
I think I'm seeing a theme here now.
Yeah.
Do you like Beastars by any chance?
Oh, I watched
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Of course you did.
I'm trying to think about that. Zootopia.
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 I watch. I like Pets.
Pets.
You know, like this. Wait, isn't there a movie called Pets?
Oh, yeah,
it's,
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like the Pixar or Disney
Yeah.
film,
Yeah.
I
whatever.
thought you
No,
just.
no, no,
I
it's
thought
the
you were just saying
DreamWorks.
I like having animals.
I mean, I do like
pets.
having animals, but
Oh my god.
Well, so like, what were some of the anime that were like the biggest influences for you to like be a voice actress when you were a kid?
I think Bleach was
Bleach.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, because obviously, like Hitsugaya was voiced by a
Yeah.
lady, and all the actors were like, you know, like so like.
I mean, they were cool as fuck.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
we've said a lot about Bleach, but
Yeah.
I mean, everything about it was cool. You know.
I mean, especially Hitsugaya, right? Like Romy Park is such an amazing voice.
Yeah.
You know, like especially like I think she did Alphonse as well, right?
Yeah, no, she did Edward.
Oh, she did Edward.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right,
yeah.
yeah.
And-
I
Oh,
would
like,
I would know that.
yeah.
Yeah, and she's Hanji from Attack on Titan.
That's
as
right.
well,
Oh
so-
yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Yeah. She's like, wow, like yeah.
Yeah, did you like when you were trying to get into the voice acting field, or like
Mm-hmm.
how much research did you do with like fellow voice actresses in the field, or like fellow like voice actors?
Oh, as in like what kind of research?
Like just like looking into it, right? Because I know there are some fans out there in the anime field who are like really into like the voice actors and voice actresses, right? Well, were you like that as well? Were you like
Yeah.
Yeah, say you otaku.
Yeah,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
Oh,
a
say you
seiyuu
otaku, that's
like
it.
I had like posters of voice actors on
Yeah.
my wall, and I would have like them as my back, like as my wallpaper on my phone. Yeah, and so like I would like search like, you know, who voiced. Like who, like I would be like, when I watch an anime, I would always
Yeah.
watch the credits.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, like, you know, this was voiced by this voice actor, and I'm like, ah, and so like, yeah.
Did you ever did you ever sit through an anime just because of like a particular voice actor was in it?
Yeah.
I feel because like I have a couple of friends who are like seiyuu otakus as well, and they're
Yeah.
like they can hear like half a second of a phrase, and they're immediately like, "Yep, that's that voice actor."
yeah.
Instantly know
it. Yeah.
Did you ever get to the point where you bought like voice CDs?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Wait, what is it?
what's this?
It's like there's a lot of like different kinds of voice CDs out in the world, and there's like there's like voice dramas, and there's also ones where they kind of like talk to you.
Talk to you.
It's like
Yeah.
think of a podcast, except you're doing the podcast with them, and it's in like POV.
yeah.
Yeah, this became
POV,
an AS
you're part of
this is
Trash
the thing on
Taste.
YouTube now, though. It's like an ASMR thing on YouTube now.
Yeah,
so I guess they
yeah.
made it.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
OGs.
Yeah, and they use like
But they act as those characters.
yeah. And they also have like they have these microphones.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's shaped like a person's face.
The binaural.
The
microphones,
yeah. And then they use that to take some of the audio. So it's like sometimes you hear the audio from the right side, and it kind of seems like they're there.
Oh, it's like the ASMR.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
ASMR mic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neumann made a mic, and it's literally like a foam head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
kind of
really
It's
weird.
super fucking expensive though.
Yeah, it's really fucking weird to look
Yeah.
at as well. Because you're talking into like a fake head. It looks really weird.
But it's yeah. So for I think decades now, these like voice actors do these like drama CDs
Yeah.
where they were like, for example, like, you know, Romy Park would do one of Hitsugaya, and it's like if Hitsugaya was like hanging out with you, or if you were on a date with this particular
yeah,
character, and they would like they would play out these scenarios in POV of like
Right.
if you were in that position, and
Yeah.
like people would just like listen to it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I've seen like some of the short anime that are kind of like that, where it's just like POV, you have a girlfriend. It's just like every episode there's like a different girl. Something
It's
like
literally Dora the Explorer. Because like I've seen some where they would say a line and then they kind of pause for a couple of seconds, like, waiting for your response.
I think I remember I loved Code
Sora.
Geass. When I finished Code Geass, I need more Code Geass. And they were
Yeah.
like, the story continues in an audio CD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
the fuck? So
Voice, like a voice
I got
drama.
it, and it just sounded like a museum tour. You know what I mean? And I was like, what is this? I can't listen to this.
It's like Welcome to Britannia.
It's like Britannia was once a, and it's like, what? Who the fuck is this?
It's like a lecture.
I was like, what is this? I don't want to listen to this.
See, otakus dig that shit up, man.
I've actually only bought one audio CD in like my
really?
entire time of being an anime fan.
What was it?
It's for Love Hina.
Hell yeah, dude. Wait, who?
Huh?
Of who?
No, it was just like an audio drama. So it was because like it ended, and I'm just like, I need more. The manga's not doing it for me. I need to hear the voice actors and actresses playing out the ending of this, and so I fucking bought it, and it's the only audio drama I've bought so far, and I
think
don't regret anything. It was amazing.
I think the closest I ever got to that was I used to tune in because like a lot of voice actors, especially like the top ones, do like radio shows.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Like talking about their role in the anime of like, you know, if they like work together on an anime or whatever, and they would, you know, go for like however long the anime spans for, basically. So like the closest I ever got to that was I used to like tune in every week to Kajiyuki and Shimonohiro, like Attack on Titan,
Right,
like
right.
that's
radio.
cool.
And it was really cool because like they would openly just like kind of poke fun of the show a lot of the times as well. But it's also like, I mean, yeah, you guys are the voices of the show. So I guess that
Yeah.
gives you like some credit to be like, that was kind of ridiculous, wasn't it?
Is it still a big thing in Japan, the audio CDs?
It is. I think it's getting bigger now. Like,
Wow.
because
I guess
yeah.
MP3s are easier to
Yeah.
sell, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, like we just established, it's more about building yourself up as like a kind of like an idol in some cases, right?
Is there like anything, I mean, how many years have you been doing voice acting now? Like professionally?
5 years now. Because I debuted in 2016.
Right.
So 5 years now.
5 years now.
Yeah.
Is there any like voice role or like type of character that you haven't done yet that you really, really want to do? Like I want to do like a tsundere, or I want to do like a maid, or like just, you know, any like archetype that you want to do?
I want to try like a boy.
A boy.
Like
Ah.
yeah. Because
I guess that's the Romy Parkin.
Yeah.
It's a guy right there.
Yeah. Like, you know, shonen.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanna try
yeah.
voicing a shonen.
Ah.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of like kind of younger boy characters are voiced by females, aren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah,
Like,
they
a lot of
are,
the time.
yeah.
Because, you know, people keep forgetting that like Ash or like Naruto are voiced by females.
And Luffy as
Luffy
well.
as well.
Luffy
yeah.
is voiced by
Yeah.
female. Or Goku is voiced
Yeah.
by female.
Kids are expensive.
Kids normally don't have proper voice acting
not
training,
very good
you know?
at taking direction.
It's just like have,
What do you mean, goo goo gaga? I said, do the line.
just have a testy pop halfway through. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ.
oh my god, if Goku was voiced by like a young boy and he just like fucking has a testy pop like halfway through a Kamehameha, that'd be hilarious.
We need more voice cracks in anime. That's what we need. We need more realistic representations of puberty.
Hell yeah.
Have you ever done any events where you meet your fans or anything like that?
Yes, I have. I'm in this like a vocal dance unit called Prima Porta.
Okay.
And we had like this thing called Watashikai, where we like hand the CDs to the people who bought the CDs.
Right.
And yeah, we were able to like talk to the fans for like 30 seconds, a minute.
Right.
Now they really speed run that.
Yeah, really sweetie. But yeah.
Is it kind of like the same thing as in like with like, I know a lot of the Watashikai with like idols, for instance.
That's the
time-
handshaking event.
Yeah, but
Okay.
the time extends depending on how many CDs you bought.
Oh, we didn't have that. It was kind of like
Hierarchy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you have to do a
didn't-
handshaking thing as well?
Oh no, we didn't do handshake. It was more like waving
Oh, okay.
and just talking, like
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Waving in close proximity.
Well, I saw videos of like guys not letting go and like security like
Yeah.
dragging
Oh
them.
yeah.
I guess it is
So
a, yeah, it's a
scary.
risk. Yeah, definitely. Is
My
it
gosh.
is it weird like when the first time that you had to do that? Is it a weird feeling to be like, wow, these people came for me?
Yeah, it feels really like cause you know like on the internet, like SNS, like you don't know how many people are actually like
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
into you. Like I mean
Yeah.
they might comment and stuff like that, but you don't know like if they're really like you know, like a fan, you know,
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
feel the
yeah.
same.
Yeah.
And then so when you actually go and like meet people and they're like, oh my gosh, I've been wanting to meet you for like so long. You're like, I'm so glad I did this job.
I'm so glad I defied my parents.
Yeah.
It makes it all worth it too.
Yeah. It
does,
You
yeah,
feel like,
yeah.
wow, somebody cares.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like being able to meet all those people, and even if you can't like talk to everyone, just seeing them, and like, you know, when you're like when you attend events and stuff and they're like calling out your name, it's like I, you know, you feel really happy. So
Like, for me? You're doing
yeah.
You're sharing for me?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're the best mate. Best POV of my life. That's also fun. Do you go to many events then? Obviously now I imagine it's not so much. But
But I like before like this all happened, like I used to like attend events pretty often, and
Have you been on the other side? Like
yes, I actually have. Like before going into this industry, like I'd buy tickets to like concerts and like, lives, and I'll be like,
buy the CDs.
I'll buy the CDs and I'll buy the goods.
Yeah. She waved at me.
It'd be really awkward if you turn up to the voice session. They'd be like, why do I know you? I swear I met you. Where? I just can't put my thing. You're like, nowhere. We did not meet.
It was so it was funny because one time I went to like a concert, and it was like a female voice actors concert,
Right.
and like her fans were like mostly male, but I really liked her, so like I went there by myself, and all the fans were like male, right? So like it would be like one girl and all these males, and because I think they thought that it was really rare that a girl would come to that concert, they were kind of like to me like, if I get too like noisy using the blades, like please let me know. Like, 今日はよろしくお願いします. I'm like,
Wow.
this is
Like
so
trying to
nice.
impress you?
I don't know.
I don't mean to brag, but I can wave these bad boys for 2 hours.
Yo, is this your first concert? Let me show you how a pro does it.
Sorry, let me put away my gun. I felt the exact same way when I went to the Sailor Moon Museum.
Oh,
Because it was like 5 years ago in the Mori Arts Museum in Roppongi. And they had a Sailor Moon Museum, and I was like, I fucking love Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
So I went. Imagine room full of just like tiny like Japanese girls, they're falling over Sailor Moon. Meanwhile, in the middle of it, there's this massive white dude just being like, that's so fucking cute. Oh my god, dude. I fucking love Mercury. I've never had so many women stare at me for all the wrong reasons. It was the weirdest experience of my
Do
life.
not belong here, Chad.
Yeah, no, they're all looking at me like, what? Is he like starved? Like, why is he here?
Security, right?
It's like, what? Am I not allowed to like Sailor Moon? Fuck you. Yeah, but is there any like kind of social media that you want to shout out? Like, I guess your YouTube channel? Anything you want to shout out to the audience?
I have a Twitter account. If people want to follow it,
They will follow.
Just follow.
Follow.
We'll do it for you.
Also, Shu's YouTube channel, ShuTube.
ShuTube.
What else do you have, Shu?
that's all I have.
That's it?
Yeah. That's
No TikTok?
no TikTok, no Instagram.
How do you do the trendy dances?
Yeah, actually, TikTok would be like the perfect platform to
That's
show off
true.
all your skills that you literally trained
right?
years for.
That's true.
Like your singing skills that you literally had to hide it from your mum.
Yeah.
Your voice acting skills?
Oh, yeah.
You can literally do that on TikTok.
So
Maybe I should download
follow
TikTok.
YouTube, follow Twitter.
Yeah.
Go.
Buy her drama CDs.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
POV, you are a princess.
And listen to her in your favorite anime.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. And games.
And games and
games.
everything.
And
yeah.
everything. Yes.
Yeah, check out her stuff. But in the meantime, you can check out the lovely patrons who are
Look
just
at them.
on
Wow.
screen right
Oh
now.
my
Amazing.
god.
Yeah. Who's your
love this.
favorite
Wow.
patron, Shu? Is it that one? That one?
Point somewhere on the screen.
What?
There'll be words.
This one.
Oh, that's a good. Oh, I like that one. Actually. That one.
Frothing at the mouth. But yeah, if you'd like to support the show, then make sure to head on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/trashtaste. Also, follow us on Twitter, send us your memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our faces, listen to us on Spotify. But yeah, thanks for coming, Shu.
Thank you for
thanks
inviting
for
me.
coming.
It was really fun.
Yeah, I hope you had fun.
It was really fun.
Even through some of the dodgy words that we used or
Yeah.
whatever.
Shu's manager is just like sweating.
I'm sorry you had to see this off screen. That was like a bad.
We can hold on to
It
that
was
for
the other way
like
around.
any like
that's-
emergent. For any like emergency situations, we can just like.
that was-
If ever there's a situation, I'll just be like, Incest?
One day, Maylin's gonna be like, guys, I have the perfect thing to show. We'll keep it for the next hentai episode,
Yeah,
Maylin.
definitely. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you guys next one.
Bye.
Bye.